Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
It's going, man. It has been a stressful couple of days, and I feel like I'm coming down with something. But I'm here. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have some fun with the chat tonight. So yeah, I am here. That is how it's going.
Well, that's good to
But I'm
know.
glad. But I'm good. I'm good, and I'm glad to be here. So it's good to see everybody out there. So yeah, welcome to the Night Owl this evening. And it looks like Mur Rockstro has got us started off with a very generous gift over on YouTube.
Well, that's cool. Let me see what's going on with that. Hi to Rumble and to YouTube and to anybody watching us
Yeah.
anywhere. Our headquarters is Rumble, just so you know. But let's look. Murakstra, he sent 5 Price of Reason Live gift memberships, which is very kind of him. Uh, and I also will try to capture who he gave them to. So thank you very much, Murakstra. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, very kind.
How's it going, Professor?
Like I
Beyond
said,
that.
it's going. I will say what one lovely stress removed from our lives that I've been for the last 2 or 3 weeks trying to buy my wife a car, and it's a very frustrating experience. I really hate. I want cars to just be like on Amazon where I can just pick one out and buy it.
Don't they have something like
They
Carvana where you
they
click
they
a
do
button?
have some stuff like that, but man, like what you have available is pretty limited, and Yidis wants to know what we bought. My wife wanted a Toyota Grand Highlander, so that is what she got because we buy our cars and then drive them until they are in pieces. So yes,
You know what? You don't
I
have
drive
anything.
I'm actually a big Mazda fan, but I would have liked to buy her a Mazda. I love Mazdas, but she wanted a 3-row SUV, and the 3-row Mazda SUV is not a very reliable car, unfortunately. So I could not recommend that to her to buy. So yes, we have been looking for the Grand Highlander with the right packages and all the stuff on it that she wanted. I know a lot of people don't like buying new, but we prefer to buy new because again, we want to get what we want because we're going to keep that car for a really long time. Uh, so it's a very frustrating experience. I'm just not cut out for haggling price. I don't. It's not
Oh,
me.
I think I'm pretty decent at
All right,
haggling,
see,
but
see, some people like it's their thing. So like the best I can do is like use my overly analytical nature to like gather as much information as possible, everything I can find on the internet, all the stuff about this is the best prices and here's how you go in and stuff like that, and then just go into it like as well informed as possible, I guess is what I'll say, so that I can be like, nah, I ain't paying that fee. I ain't paying that fee. Whatever. Like, it's just, it's such a
my
such a,
my
a
be-
frustrating experience.
my best haggling. Maybe you should take a trip to Thailand. My best haggling to date was in Thailand. I was the king of haggling in Thailand because you'd go to the main whatever it was like a main market or whatever it was. Uh, you go there. And anytime like they give you a price, you know that's not the price. You're gonna have to, get it for significantly less. So once you tell them something, they usually have because they didn't know a lot of English. Probably today it's different, but at the time, the people at the market knew they knew some English, but it was kind of you could tell that they all got their English from the same source, if you know what I mean. They had like
Yeah.
certain words in the way they could talk that like was just like them, but it wasn't like anywhere else. So I'd go and I'd say like, "How much is this?" And then they'd give a price. I say, "I can't pay that. I can pay you like maybe half of that." And then they'd say, "Oh, cannot, like I can't do it." Like that means they can't, but that's all they'll say. They'll say, "Oh, cannot." And then like you give them some explanation, like you even a little bit like you why it's not worth the price they said, and then they go, "Oh, I lose money." So what would happen is after I
You
caught on,
sound like Watto from from Star Wars. Oh no, I don't have no T-15 here. No.
before all the cancel people come, that's exactly what they sounded like. I can't do anything about it. That is 100% like me imitating how they spoke to me. So it's not like I'm trying to do like a funny, like you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to do a stereotypical thing. That's just how they talked. So what would happen is after like a day that I kind of absorbed what was going on there, I went the next day, and this time I was ready. I come to a guy and I'm like, "How much is this?" And he says like what the price is. So I go to him. I tell him, "Oh, cannot." And then like the guy doesn't know what to say. He's like he's stuttering because I used his thing, And like then after he says, I go, "Oh, I lose money." And like at this point, sometimes they'd even start laughing. You know what I mean? Because they know that like we're just playing some stupid game, and they at least appreciated that I was like kind of learning their ways. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah. They, I'm actually much prefer it because there's some like I don't know if you've I know some people who traveled in France, and sometimes like a lot of the French, or especially maybe not in the country, but especially in Paris, they're real assholes. Like if you're trying to speak French but you're not good at it, like they get irritated, they get pissed off at you because you're not really good at speaking French, and trying to do it and doing it poorly is like not good enough for them. I know that's not the case in a lot of like more rural areas of France, but um, that it's like I'm trying, man. Like I'm trying to speak your language. Like just be nice, be nice about it. But in there's a lot of places in a lot of countries where like if you're really trying to like communicate with them in their language, they're really gracious about it, right? And I at least appreciate that. Like they recognize that you're trying to be
They
like
got
part
it.
of their culture. You're trying to do it the way they do things, trying to kind of meet them at least halfway.
No, but I
It's-
was actually it was a combination because I was heading them off at the pass, but using their way of talking to head them off at the pass,
yeah.
and they kind of appreciated it. There was another thing that they used to say, they're like, same, but different. Like, I don't know why they keep saying that. I'm like, what's the difference between this? Is no different. Same, but different. Is it the same or is it different? Same, but different. That's like something like you go to Thailand.
Yeah.
They kept saying that. I still try to understand exactly what they meant.
Look, this
I
this
feel like
this cassette player is the same as a Walkman, but it's different. Okay, it's the same as a Walkman, but it's different.
Right. It's usually something that like that they're BSing you. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, you're asking a question, same, but different. And I'm like, okay, whatever. In any case, I don't know how we got to all of this, but we're at the night owl here.
I don't know. We also have we got a lovely gift over on Rumble. We got a Rumble
On
rant
Rumble.
from Kivo 1961. Yes, for $5.
Kivo 1961. Going there next week. Where is it? He's going to Thailand next week. I'll tell you this: when I was there a few decades ago, and there's parts of Thailand that I really like the islands, Koh Phangan, and all these other, Koh Samui, whatever, some islands and stuff, and Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai and whatever it is. Those were all fine. But I'll tell you this: I was in Bangkok way more than I needed to be. Like I don't remember now the circumstances. I was there for maybe like a week. That place is a difficult place to be. It's very stinky. I don't know if they still do it. They eat rats on a stick in the middle of the street. Like there were people selling
Sure.
rats like that were.
Oh no, did we lose Price, or did I
Am I not
disappear?
here?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you went fuzzy on my end, but I couldn't tell if it was me or if it was you. So
I don't know. It was one of us.
I
but
think
all
it was you. I think it was you, Price. I think you dropped out for a little bit because I'm watching the stream. So
Oh,
yeah, you got a little fuzzy there, but you're back. I can hear you now. So
well, if you can
yeah.
hear me now, what I said is that they used to eat rats on a stick
Yes.
in the middle of the street. I still remember that. Like, and I would never eat that. I don't want to eat a rat on a stick. It's so strange that they would eat it just like it's such a strange thing to see. I know you can say, "Oh, well, you're just saying that you're not a part of their culture. They like eating rats on a
Oh
stick."
no, rats are revolting. Rats are disease-ridden
They're like on a
animals.
stick. On a
Literally
stick.
talking about the animals that caused and perpetuated the Black Plague. Like they're horrible, dirty animals. Now, I have known people who had pet rats, and that was fine. Like they're cared for,
Kind of weird, but yes. But to eat them on a stick.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, they had a pet rat. It was kind of like a smarter hamster. Like it was actually like not completely moronic and biting you all the time like hamsters. Like
You don't
it was actually kind of smart. I didn't love it as a pet. I was kind of creeped out by it, but at the same time, like it was, you know, it was clearly it was well cared for. It was clean, right? But like rats just like out in the wild. Ugh, God. You know what it reminds me of, Price? It reminds me of Demolition Man.
it does remind me.
When
I
Demolition Man, when they go underground and he's under there and he sees all the like street vendors and he goes up and is like, I want a hamburger. And the guy like she makes him a hamburger, and then he's like, do you see any cows around here?
I was gonna show a picture. I was gonna show a picture, but I Googled it, looked at the images, and I prefer to spare the
not gonna
audience. I'm
not
not
gonna
gonna show it.
impose
It
a
it
rat
is
on a
awful.
stick on the
It is
rest of
awful.
our
I'm looking at
audience.
pictures of it now, and it made me nauseous again. Now the thing is that when you're there, you're not only looking at it, you're smelling the whole setup. There is a stinky smell. You know, I don't know. In general, in Bangkok, there used to be a really, really stinky smell. Like the stinkiest place I've ever been was, I think, in Bangkok. And then, like you walk on the street and they're eating the rats on the stick. It's a lot to ask of me. I mean, of course, I toughed it out because, like, I'm a tough guy. So you know me.
Yeah.
I manned up and I kind of, in spite of all the people eating the rats, I just kind of like went about my business. Anyhow,
You
I
know,
don't know how.
to each their own. I would not be partaking in rat on a stick. Thank you.
Wait, somebody says please speak louder. Are they talking to me? Am I
No,
not
we sound
speaking?
fine. I checked the levels. We're good.
Oh, he said deaf frat guy. That's why he says please. Maybe it's like a part of his thing. I don't even
Yeah, it
know.
could be. Yeah,
If
I
people
checked.
can't,
We're good. I'm looking at me because that, you know, I've been having ever since I updated my setup here, and they keep changing the software and stuff. Like I've been having weird
oh,
issues
I've
where
had.
like my audio's not at the same levels as it used to be and stuff. So I'm always
I
self
think I know
conscious
what
about it.
happened. I think I know what happened, and I'm going to fix it right now. Professor, you may have to tell a joke. Hold on.
Oh no, I have to tell a joke. The joke is, hi, I'm not telling any jokes. I'm gonna check out what people are saying in the chat. So yeah, it's great to see a few people here tonight. Some of our usuals. Also great. We're being featured front page over on Rumble, which is fantastic.
Great Can you hear me,
Appreciate
Professor?
that. Yep. Sorry,
Rumble is a
you're.
great platform,
Yeah, it is.
and if you're not already like signed up for Rumble, because some people what they do is they have the app on one of those kind of Amazon Fire Sticks, or you know, one of those kind of smart TVs, or on their phone, and they have the app, and Rumble, it doesn't obligate people to, from what I can see, to sign up. So some people just use the app and watch, you know, shows that the programs that they like to watch and things like that. Even this one, the thing is, it's always better to sign up because you're supporting the platform, which supports free speech. And if you sorry about that. And if you follow us, you'll always know when we're doing a stream. So highly recommend that. I swallowed my Coke in the
Oh,
wrong. I guess all that talk about the rats.
well, that's the problem, Brett. The Coke is supposed to go up your nose, and then the. Oh, I'm sorry. You meant Coca-Cola. Sorry.
Right. That is what I'm. I wish we were that exciting that that's the kind of stuff that happened on the Night Owl, but no, I just drink Diet
Woo!
Coke. Yeah.
No, there is no consumption of illicit drugs
Yeah,
on
there was a
this
song
show.
one night in Bangkok. One night in Bangkok makes a hard man humble.
Yep, I
No,
remember
no,
that
no,
one.
no, 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 no. And then there's some annoying guy who's like, Bangkok, Oriental City, or something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, gosh, it's been a long time since I heard that song. That is, who is that?
It's
Is
some.
that?
It's like a band that had like one song, or was it? I don't know.
It's Chess. It was the
It,
band Chess.
it's the only song that they had. Sometimes you had bands like
Yeah.
that they had one song. That's their song.
Oh yeah.
Recently, I don't know why it came up on my YouTube feed that they were like, you know, there was a video about like whatever happened to Wang Chung, and this song with Bangkok reminded me kind of like Wang Chung, because they kind of had a few hits and mainly that Wang Chung song, and kind of disappeared. And the truth is that I once sort of hung out a little bit with the guitar player from Wang Chung, and he was a super nice guy. That's all I'll say. Super nice guy.
Well, sure.
I mean, for
Uh,
whatever it's worth, he's also not a bad musician. It's like, yeah, I guess, like, what can you do in the '80s? They had that thing. It's I'll tell you this: when you make it in some kind of way, when you succeed with a certain style of song or a style of music, it's very difficult later to like do something else. You know what I'm saying? It's really difficult to then
yeah,
say,
sure.
"Hey, you know how we were this kind of '80s band and we've had some kind of lighthearted '80s songs? Well, now we want to do a more of a rock song." Nobody's going to listen to it because they don't know you that way. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
It's very hard to like, brand yourself one way and brand yourself another way. That happened to me with Tiffany once, which I met her. I hung out with Tiffany, the singer, the one that used to sing in the malls.
Hmm.
So basically, for years I kind of, there was "We Think We're Alone Now" and whatever it is, and I kind of, a bit kind of laugh at her. I think this is like, sucky, whatever it is. Even when it came out, like it wasn't really my bag. I thought to myself, it's kind of lame. I was a kid, but even as a kid, I thought it was lame. And why was she at a shopping center with her red hair and singing this crap? And then one day, like this is probably 10 years ago or something, I was at an event where they're like, there's all these like, there were people playing like rock music, and they're like, "Tiffany's going to perform." And I'm like, well, this should be interesting.
Hmm.
What's she gonna do? Like, do her like shopping mall thing? And then she comes out, and there was like either a Led Zeppelin song or something like that. And she comes out and she sings, and the lady can sing. You know what I'm saying? Like it turned out, and then afterwards, I talked with her a little bit after the show. It turned out that she was trying to do all these different kind of music, but sometimes when people know you a certain way, it's really difficult to say, "Hey, yeah, okay, when I was young, I did that, but I'm trying to do something else now." It's not going to fly with anybody. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they're
So
like, play your hits, sing the song you're famous for. That's all we want from you,
s-
performing monkey.
and the musician in me understands that as well. So sometimes I have a little bit of like empathy in a situation like that, especially if I later see that people actually have some talent. So I think that the Wang Chung guy wasn't a bad musician. It's just like, I don't feel bad for him either. Even until now, you have these kind of nostalgia festivals where they bring all these '80s bands and things like that. The guy gets like plenty of work. You know what I mean? The only thing
Yeah,
is, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I was at such an event at some time, and I saw him perform, and he performed they performed the Wang Chung song, and knowing that that's their big song, I think they gave like a 20-minute version of it. It was like the never
yeah. The
the,
never ending.
the
Everybody have fun tonight for 4 hours version.
it
Yeah,
felt like that. But you know what? There was a part of me that appreciated the guy. He's not in his 20s. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Standing there with all the energy, he's like bringing out like 100% energy, and whoever came to see it came for that nostalgia, and he's giving it to them. So see, I'm not an asshole
yeah,
all the time. Sorry, Sean.
yeah.
I'm not. You think I'm a douche, but sometimes I'm nice. You know?
So it actually it looks like Jack Hughes and Nick Feldman are still touring as Wang Chung.
I know they are. I saw them. I
Yeah.
saw them in recent years, and I met them. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm so
met
well,
them
I'm saying
both.
he's still today, and apparently most of what they're touring is with they're either doing cruises, 80s themed cruises, or 80s themed like multi-artist nostalgia tours.
I have seen them in such an event because I
Yes.
do some work here and there in entertainment. I've told you this before, so I was actually at an event like this. Out of the two of them, I met them both. Hi to both of them. That Jack guy ended up talking to me for a while, and like I said, the nicest guy. Seemed like a really nice guy. I always say all these people are douchey and don't like me. There was none of that. He was a super like humble and nice guy. Have to say it. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Fair
that's
enough. I
cool.
have to be
Yeah.
fair.
So Tim Hayes is correcting us in the chat. So it was not from a band called Chess. It's from a stage musical called Chess, and the artist was it was written by Tim Rice and performed by Murray Head. So that's
All these
it's
people,
from a stage musical which I've never seen.
all
So
these
yeah, not a
names that you
band.
just said,
Yeah.
All these names that you said are meaningless.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea who they are. I remembered something. I
I
vaguely
want to
remembered
address.
something to do with chess. I thought it was a band. It's a
I want
musical.
to.
I was wrong.
I want to address this thing. Mr. Violet Newstead says, "So I guess you are just using Drinker's name to get clicks." I want to address that. First of all, if you look, this is the 220th night out. You can look back at all of the streams that we've had until today, the 219, the ones that came before this one. You'll never see his name in any of our titles or thumbnails or his picture. In this case, something happened this week which I thought was newsworthy, and I wanted to actually talk about it because I thought it was a pop culturally relevant event. That's why I put his name and his image on the thumbnail. I don't just do that, quote unquote, for clicks or anything. That's not what this show is about. Since you may be new to it, I wanted to explain that to you. I'm not angry, but that's not what we do here. So just putting that out there.
Yep.
So yeah, exactly. I mean, not for nothing, I you know, I don't know how to say this in a way that, like, doesn't how do I explain this? Uh, I am not suggesting that the drinker and I are great friends or anything like that, but we are at least acquainted, and, he's always been
Yeah.
very nice to me, and I really like the guy, and I wouldn't just put his name and his thing just to get clicks all day, unless
Yeah.
it's kind of
This is a very specific incident, very
very
specific
specific
thing that's
incident, yes.
happened over the last, a few days. That we wanted to talk about it. Yeah, we're not using Drinker's name to try and
No, I mean, it's not.
somebody trying to use Drinker's name to get clicks. Is that what Jorbo
Right. Well, yeah,
twerp?
the people that are usually kind of like, I don't, for lack of a better word, the kind of like that they love the kind of the message and the agendas, Hollywood agendas, the kind of woke crowd or whatever. Usually, they're kind of these, not even the woke crowd, more like these kind of people that want attention online. They're the ones that often use. I've seen channels that like have like 50 thumbnails with him, but most of the thumbnails of them are them just crying about him. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the case here. But if this person already is has mentioned it, I can I can just say what I why this story is even here, why is on the
Yeah, I
thumbnail.
mean, this is one of our first topics. So I mean, we might as well go ahead and get into it.
Well, as you know, what happened was is that, and I feel like this is a big pop culture moment in my opinion. See, what happened was is that you know Andy Weir, he did he wrote the books. Of course, you like those books very much, The Martian
Yes.
and the
Hmm.
Project Hail Mary. I only saw the movies. I enjoyed the movies, so he did that. Movie is a big success. Now, this guy could go anywhere in the world. He can go to Access Hollywood. He could sit on The View. He could talk to Oprah probably. He could do whatever he wants. Who does he choose to speak with? With the critical drinker. And
Yeah.
if you watch that interview with Drinker, he sat there not just as a person that, you know, I think that when Drinker did a interview with Russell Crowe, it didn't feel like Russell Crowe was a fan of the Drinker. It's just that he agreed to do the interview, which there's nothing wrong with that. In this case here, in the case of Andy Weir, it had a feeling that they're on the same wavelength, laughing about the same things. You could tell that Andy is familiar with Drinker's channel, and you could also tell that he was actually happy to be in this interview, which he sat there for 90 minutes, could have been anywhere, sat with the Drinker for 90 minutes. And once that happened, I think that this set off a series of events. First of all, we showed it here that there were influencers just like those, or whatever you want to call them, if you want to even call them that, those kind of jarbos or whatever, that got really bent out of shape about it. And they started posting, how dare you go there? And then because they didn't know what to do, and also the whole Hollywood system, they pretend they don't know who the critical drinker is, but honestly, they must know him by now. The guy has like close to 2.5 million followers, and that's just on one channel. And I think that at this point, I don't think that there's a studio that releases a movie that doesn't think to themselves that the critical drinker is going to make a review about it. I really honestly think that there's no way that they don't know who he is, and they know that, if he reviews something, that review is worth something to somebody. So I think that until now they've been able to avoid it. But now what happened was is that this kind of perfect storm of the guy that had the number one movie in the country, that's being hailed as this great movie, the only real success we've seen in 2026 until now. And we're already like 3 months into it. There's only one movie that's really made some kind of mark, and that's Project Hail Mary. So
Hmm.
Andy Weir is now the man of the hour. Now he sat there with Drinker, and during this interview, he basically said that he thought that Starfleet Academy and a lot of modern Trek was shit. And he also said something along the lines that he sat with Alex Kurtzman, pitched him an idea that he had for a Star Trek show, and Alex Kurtzman was like, nah, nah, I don't like it. So he said something like, well, fuck him. And you know what? I don't understand what's wrong with any of that. He is allowed to have his opinion. I posted a tweet today, and I think that this was a very good tweet. Let me show you if I can find it.
Yeah. Not only was he actually like having a really open and interesting and fun conversation with Will, with Critical Drinker. Well, not only
Yes.
was he actually just having like this nice cordial conversation with him, which by the way, I think that pisses a lot of these left wingers in Hollywood, a lot of these influencers off more than anything, that he wasn't like combative. He didn't like challenge Drinker on anything. Like they were literally like sitting and just having a fun conversation together. And you could tell that they were actually simpatico. They were actually, on the same wavelength and a lot of stuff. And then also the audience that was there, the people who were there watching the video were fawning over Andy Weir, telling him, "You made a great movie. You made a great book. Thank you for doing this. We appreciate you being here. We really enjoy your work." Like that, the idea that for some of these leftists, that people, these quote unquote chuds, are in some way able to connect with Andy Weir, to them, that means that, well, Andy Weir is guilty by association. If he's going to associate with these people, well, then he's not wanted. He's tainted somehow. And yeah, on top of that, yeah, there was the discussion of him meeting with Paramount, him talking to whoever over there, and saying like they didn't want my ideas, they didn't like my ideas, and that's kind of ridiculous, right? Like, I don't know. All of this is very irritating. Just to listen to these people on the left just complain about, oh, a guy went on a podcast, went on a stream to promote his work, and was cordial and had a good time. They hate that.
Well, first of all, here's the thing. And this, in my opinion, Andy Weir is smart. If you told me now that I could promote like a movie somewhere and I'd have the chance of like The View or The Critical Drinker, I'm going to The Critical Drinker. The View is not going to get me any views, unfortunately. If you know what I'm trying to say, they're not going to bring out the sci-fi crowd to watch my movie. If I want to like talk about my new movie, I think that that is exactly the place you need to be. And I think part of the reason we're seeing all of the pushback is because we've reached a point. It's sort of a strange perfect storm of all the weird agenda driven stuff that's happening that's falling apart. We already saw Star Wars and Doctor Who fall apart with their own crap, but somehow Starfleet Academy really highlighted, much like the Acolyte highlighted it with Star Wars, highlighted the failure of kind of this woke agenda, and the fact that it's such a failure, and there's still people in the media that gave it like a 98. It had like a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're saying the best ever, and it has nothing to do with reality. Nobody watched the show. All these activists that claim to like it have never even watched it. It had no audience, and it was a miserable failure. And I guess to have Andy Weir, the guy with the number one movie in sci-fi, that not only he pitched Alex Kurtzman a show which Alex Kurtzman deemed stupid. He made a movie and it's like the biggest movie of the year until now. Meanwhile, Alex Kurtzman's whole thing is falling apart. And he's sitting there with Drinker, who they see as like public enemy number one, even though they don't admit it. And they're laughing at Alex Kurtzman and saying all this stuff. This has put like Hollywood in meltdown mode. So initially, the Hollywood Reporter, I was surprised because they at least wrote something that made it look more legitimate. I don't know if you saw the original article. What was it? Critical Drinker, Hollywood Reporter. Let me try to
Was
show
it
you
was
what
it
I meant.
Hollywood Reporter? Yeah.
The
So
initial
yeah,
article.
I did not see that article. I was thinking about specifically thinking about the apology that he
We'll get to
posted
that in a
recently.
second.
But
We'll
yeah,
get to that.
we'll get to that here in just a minute.
I want to show you. So initially, this is a few days ago. You had Project Hail Mary author Andy Weir says Paramount rejected his Star Trek pitch. Their shows are shit, and they kind of wrote that. They focused on that, and then they wrote that best-selling writer criticized modern Trek shows while on the Critical Drinker podcast last week, and even revealed he pitched a Trek show. Blah blah blah. I think that at this point, they even wrote something. Maybe they wrote Will Jordan. The topic began with podcast host Will Jordan saying how refreshing the box office hit is, and then it said like Jordan replied yes, and they both laughed. And this was relatively speaking, the most kind of neutral article. And when I saw it, I was surprised. You know, why I was surprised because I thought to myself, usually they would never. First of all, they would never mention Critical Drinker or Will Jordan or anything like that. But if they did mention him anywhere, it would have to first of all say that he's an istinophobe of sorts, or slap some label on him. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There would be an additional narrative that they'd have to paste. And I thought to myself, wow, this was a moment when I saw this article. I said, maybe woke is really dying. You know, I really, for a second, they had me. I'm like, maybe they're dying. But then all hell broke loose. And this is the part where the media, his agents, the industry, the studios, all started pressuring this Andy Weir guy. Basically, he got some calls saying, hey, you want to make more movies? You want more people to take your books and make them into movies? Maybe you want to apologize to Alex Kurtzman. And it's like, that annoys me. That really, really annoys me. And listen, I understand the situation that Andy Weir is in. I'm not trying to just tear him apart that he did this, but he ended up apologizing. You know what I'm saying? Like he actually ended up apologizing to Alex Kurtzman for nothing. For nothing. There
Well,
was no.
I think if you read the apology, I think it is pretty narrow. Some people have been treating it as it's just a complete, like, he's bowing to the woke mob and it's a complete retreat from what he said. I read it differently, but we can discuss. Oh no, rats! Ah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to show you the rats. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to show the rats.
It's okay. I am not. I am not Indiana Jones Sr. I'm not. I am not terrified of rats. I saw them and I'm like, oh my God, what is that?
Susie Gilfillan 1100 says, you all sound like nice men, but I don't know what you're talking about. I would listen on the regular if I had some specific interest. You all sound like normal, regular folks. Love the Sock King pick and R2. Well, thank you, Susie. What we're talking about here is that the guy that made the movie Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling in the theaters, he basically said that there was a TV show called Star Trek Starfleet Academy that he didn't like, and he made a few jokes about it on a podcast, but then Hollywood got very upset because they thought it wasn't very woke what he did, so they pressured him and made him apologize. I don't know if that was a good enough explanation. I tried my best. Here at the Night Owl, even just random people that show up and accidentally, even they're important to me, like you, Susie. You're welcome to hang out with us, Susie. I don't know anything about you or what your interests are, but I did my best. Anyhow.
Yes. You are required to leave a like and follow, or
you gotta
give
follow,
us a thumbs up, or subscribe over on Rumble. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely do that. So where was I?
So when during their conversation, they were talking about a variety of different things, and then yes, they strayed into talking about Star Trek. It really came up simply because in just the last couple of days before that interview, we had gotten that official news coming through Variety saying the show's canceled. So Starfleet Academy is canceled, right? We had gotten that, and that's kind of where the discussion came from, talking about Star Trek. And so they got into it a little bit. He mentioned that he had seen a lot of the Star Trek. He had pitched his idea, whatever, and then they started talking about the Kurtzman Trek. And so in that discussion, he did eventually say that most of the current crop of Star Trek shows were shit. This is what he said, right? Now, he did say that he did actually enjoy Lower Decks and thought Strange New World was enjoyable. Some Strange New World was enjoyable, but that most of the shows were shit. And a lot of these different, uh, these different outlets like Slash Film and, a bunch of other, ranty leftist sites, especially the entertainment focused ones, even Deadline, like were specifically calling out and talking about specific little clips, things that were clipped out of him saying Star Trek was bad. And they were either editing them in certain ways or they were uh, just taking certain clips out of context to make it sound specifically like he was attacking Alex Kurtzman. And his apology kind of, I think, is pretty narrow, pointed straightly at that perception, not completely backtracking on everything that he said, but trying to make it clear that what he was talking about was Star Trek, the Star Trek that we've been getting recently, and not Alex Kurtzman.
Let's read his apology.
So, yeah.
I put it here. So I wrote open letter to Alex Kurtzman. Hey, Alex, Andy Weir here. I'm posting to apologize about stuff I said on the Critical Drinkers podcast. I feel like my quotes were taken out of context as salacious sound bites. I hope you saw the other parts where I said how much I like you as a person and what a nice guy you are. He did say that.
He did.
Also, how I like Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks. I was trying to be funny, but in retrospect, it comes off as disrespectful and mean. So I'm sorry for that. I was also trying to be self-deprecating when I said, but they didn't like my pitch, so fuck them. But out of context, it can read like I actually meant it. I'm a blunt person, always have been, and it's been 10 years since the media cared what I had to say about anything, so I kind of forgot to watch my words when I have a film in theaters. In a couple months, I'll be back in my cave writing novels, and no one will care again. Anyway, if you want to talk about it in real time, even if it's just to rip me a new one, I'm happy to hop on the phone or Zoom. Then he put a little thing with the Dos Equis man. I don't always put my foot in my mouth. Oh, wait, I do. The thing is, by the way, you know that they fired that guy 10 years ago because they said he was too old, but then their sales dropped like by like 50%.
Yes.
And now they brought him back and he's like 100. And they're like, no, we have to have him back. He's 87 and they brought him back and he's like, doing his Dos Equis thing again. It was so stupid when they fired him. I said to myself, this is the reason why people like know with who they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have like lightning in a bottle, this time like figuratively, like figuratively speaking, but you know what I'm trying to, no pun intended. You have like lightning in a bottle where something just clicks with audiences. I'm not saying this is the best thing that ever happened, but almost like this meme before memes even existed, really, or in the way that they do now. Just a guy sitting there and saying that sentence, it kind of worked.
Yep.
Their sales skyrocketed when he was doing the commercials. In any case,
and they were because they were funny commercials. They were clever,
right?
And they also just got memed to death. There's one right there, and it's
right.
They were everywhere, and so it was sort of a cultural thing, like that. It actually like raised the profile of Dos Equis. And not that I care. I am not a Dos Equis drinker. I just it's like it's funny.
I don't mind Dos Equis.
Why would you get rid of sort of this iconic, creation, unless, if that particular promotion, that particular ad campaign has run its course and you find something new that's also going to be successful or target a different audience, that's one thing. But yeah, to just say like, we don't want this guy anymore. We think this is dead. This whole campaign doesn't work anymore.
People talk about Bud Light, just so you know, they lost billions just by that stupid thing. Yeah, and at the end, they had to like at 87 years old, don't you want to do it anymore? Like, and they brought him back. Good for him. In the case of Andy Weir, listen, this is obvious to me, and I've told people before. I've been in situations where I've sort of guided artists or talent or things like that in the more kind of the behind the scenes role. Like I functioned as sort of a business manager. I've been sort of an agent of sort. None of that matters because it's all kind of, in my case, I wasn't some like, big guy, big time guy, I don't really know how to explain it. In any case, all I'm saying is I've worked with talent before and I can see exactly the phone calls he got and the pressure he was under. This feels like almost like a half-hearted apology. It's not he's doing enough to look like a good guy and use the things that he said in the interview to just say, "Hey, listen, I wasn't saying you were an awful person. I didn't like your show. And yeah, like I'm happy to get on the phone with you and talk about it." He did it kind of in a nice way, did a little bit of an apology just because it was taken out of context, blah blah blah. Uh, it's a half-hearted apology, and it's one that's obviously some lawyers, some managers, some agents, some PR people, some studios, people got in touch with him and said, "Please, we're getting a bunch of calls about this. You got to do something." And then he did this thing. Now, I will say this, I don't blame him for what he did if he cares about his bottom line and about his livelihood. I can't dismiss, the situation that he's in and just write it off. At the same time, even if you do half an apology, a half-hearted one like this, it kind of there's something annoying about it because in this case, he really didn't do anything wrong. I think that I watched that interview with Critical Drinker. This man did not do anything wrong. I think that, you know, this was taken way when it comes to out of context, the people that were taking out of context were all these type of Grace Randolphs and weird Matt Jarbos and all these other people that are all just like annoyed, and mainly they're annoyed because Critical Drinker got the interview because it shows that there's a shift in our culture where a movie that is not all woke, for lack of a better word, is doing better than all the other crap. It's an original thing that they did in the theater. Uh, it's not the most diverse movie ever. Not that I really care.
Mhm.
I don't really care if there's diversity or not, as long as it's original and good. But I'm saying, like, some people are viewing this movie as it didn't have a bunch of LG people in it. It didn't have like the most diversity in it. It was some like white male dude at its center. It's like a sci-fi thing that doesn't push like a million messages, and it's doing better than all the other stuff, and it's an original thing. So of course all these people are annoyed, and all they can do is take out their anger. They're like, oh, this guy went to talk to like the Critical Drinker, and they're all just angry and looking for something to be angry about. But I posted this tweet. Let me show you this thing where I wrote, and I think you saw this one. I wrote, if Andy Weir had told Drinker that he didn't like Landman, would the media have pressured him to apologize to Taylor Sheridan?
Hell no.
Never, never. Imagine, take the same thing with Drinker and plug in instead of like, Kurtzman and Trek, say like, oh, like Taylor Sheridan and Landman, oh, like I had some ideas, fuck them. Nobody would say anything. They wouldn't care. And not because Landman isn't like a cultural thing that people know what it is. The reason that they wouldn't care is because they don't like those type of shows. They barely tolerate them. They don't like shows like that because they think that they're like, too Americana and shitty, and they don't like Taylor Sheridan and his stuff and his shows, and they don't like middle America, so they would never say anything. The only reason this man was getting calls and threats, this Andy Weir guy, is because it was Kurtzman. Because Kurtzman is another one of those things like Kathleen Kennedy, where everybody wants to protect them. It doesn't matter that they don't produce results. It doesn't matter that they've lost their companies billions of dollars. It doesn't matter that while everybody was losing billions, they walked out with hundreds of millions, and they suck at what they do. They're terrible. They use what they were given IPs that they didn't invent as platforms. They've admitted it, both of them separately, and the media still wants to protect them at any cost. And they understood very well what it meant that this guy went to Critical Drinker. And maybe they're hoping to do this, so it's such a big stink. So the next time there's a big movie and somebody says, "Hey, maybe I'll go to the Drinkers, channel and have an interview with them," maybe somebody will say, "Hey, let's think twice about that. You remember what happened to Andy Weir?" Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And not only that, in addition to that, let me try to pull up another article because then there were other articles that started doing the thing that I told you. Uh, let me see where I can find it. So let me see. Give me a second. Uh,
Ooh.
I'm trying to find it. What
There's
happened?
a
Is everything okay?
No, no, just got some loud thunder and some lightning outside. You probably couldn't hear it on the mic, but yeah,
Well, at least it wasn't me.
it didn't. It hasn't hit the internet cables yet and knocked out my internet. So
I'm trying to
that's a
find
start.
where there was something. I don't know if it was Variety. Uh, I don't know if it was Variety or not. There was one that started like, explaining. Maybe they removed it.
Okay.
Some of these things started, like, labeling, Critical Drinker as, like, a conservative or all this other stuff. He doesn't even live in
Yeah,
the
yeah. That's what again, I can't remember his name. He's a loser with Jarbo. Is that his name?
No, Jarbo I know
Was
already.
saying
I'm
repeatedly.
saying that there was, like, a
Yeah.
legitimate, a somewhat legitimate.
While you're looking that up, real quickly, over on YouTube, we've got some very generous gifts from our buddy Dutch Gradient. He has sent 10 Price of Reason live memberships on YouTube, and 10 Price of Reason live memberships on YouTube, and 10 Price of Reason live memberships on YouTube. That's 30 gift memberships from Dutch.
Oh,
Thank you so much,
wow.
Dutch Gradient. We appreciate it. That's very
Dutch,
kind.
this is too kind of you. This is too kind. Let me see for a second.
I hope he didn't accidentally just click the button 3 times. Yeah.
Dutch Gradient, I have a feeling that if he did it,
I know, I
he
know. Oh,
meant it.
we have ourselves a lovely gift here from Antiderivative Jill. Antiderivative Jill. Hey there, Jill. $20. A sticker says thanks for being you. Very kind. Thank you,
Well,
Jill.
we thank you for being you, Jill.
Yeah. And
Just
yeah, Jill's been having a rough time over on her channel. She's been falsely flagged on YouTube. There's stupid AI that seems to be daily now false flagging people for things. Flagged a bunch of her streams or one of her streams or something on her channel for like having repetitive content or something, which is absurd. She does every one of her streams is different. Makes no sense. Freaking YouTube AI is so broken now. The moderation AI, it's ridiculous.
it's
Doesn't
really
surprise
important
me
that
that people are fleeing to Rumble at the pace that they are.
yeah, I mean, listen, every platform is good for whatever they do, but I will say this is that it's very important to have a human person review the streams, and there was no reason for Jill's channel to run into any kind of issues. I've known Jill for a long time. Jill is also not one of those people that does these kind of like AI stuff or like clickbait or all this kind of stuff. She's the most like genuine. She just likes her shows. She does her streams that she talks about the shows that she likes. She's not like some sensational trying to. There are people that do like the craziest things. There's a lot of like AI channels that do the craziest stuff just to get clicks out of people. You click on it, it's like a robot like with chat GPT voice, whatever it is, just telling you some story that never happened. That is not what happens on Jill's channel. So totally out of line what happened there. But let me try to. I wanted to take a snapshot of all these super chats, fan funding. Okay, so I think I got it. Jill is a friend of the channel, by the way.
Yeah. She joined us just a couple weeks ago, or was it last
I
Tuesday?
always like having her here, personally. There's never a stream that she joins that like is less good than it was. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's
That's
always an
very kind.
improvement if she
Yes.
joins the stream. I didn't explain it well, but you know what I'm trying to say. It came out a douchey explanation, but I was trying to give her a
No,
compliment.
no. Jill's very humble and she's a lot of fun. And
That's what I was trying to
hanging
say.
out with her on streams is always a joy.
That is exactly what I meant.
I'm
And
translating for Price.
it's good the professor is here because he's like, it's too bad I didn't meet like when I went to those parties and met people that you weren't next to me to try to like smoothen things over.
Oh no, I would have been I would have pissed people off just as much, if not more, than you, because the truth is I have actually I've bumped into some famous people who, in similar stories like yours where I didn't recognize that they were like well-known famous people. In one situation, I mean, not that it's like a big star or anything, but it was a apparently a newscaster, like one of the anchors for one of the news stations locally. I had no idea who he was. Because the truth is that I don't watch the local news because we don't actually get like where we are. I can't actually get terrestrial station. I can't get, like with the antenna stations, we can't get them, and I'm not subscribing to cable. So like we don't really get to watch like local news very often. Like the closest we get is just checking on the weather. So, like, I didn't actually know who he was. Oh,
So
they're like, oh, yeah, that was. How'd you like talking? I'm like, it was who? Oh, I didn't know. It's just
that's
being.
happened
I'm
to
just
me.
being nice, just saying hi. Like,
That has
if it
happened
had
to
been if it
me.
had been the weather guy, I would have known who he was because I watched the weather.
Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes you don't know. What can you do?
Yeah, what can you
Uh,
do?
Let me see for a second if I can find this thing that I was looking for. Uh, he- this is not necessarily like a. I've seen a few of these, so I'm just gonna put this up. Wait. Oh, wait. We had first of all, did I Dutch Gradient, you're amazing. This is just the greatest gift. And Jill, this is an amazing gift as well. Way too generous, all of you. It's so kind of you. I really, really appreciate it.
Super
And
kind. Yes.
yeah, right now, from what I understand, I think that YouTube are in contact with Jill, and we all kind of, a lot of people online were like, "Please do something, YouTube."
Yeah.
And they did eventually reach out to her, and I'm hoping that something good will
Yeah.
happen because. Something like that happens to one person, it can happen to anybody.
Oh yeah,
And
hers is not the only channel I've seen something like that happen to. Just in the last couple of weeks, where people have been flagged for things on their channels that make no sense whatsoever. It's completely bizarre. And of course, we know recently, like Tom Connors, his After Dark channel was taken down or demonetized anyway. The channel wasn't shut down, but was demonetized because of some bizarre technicality or something. I don't. I'll be honest. I don't actually mind AI moderation in and of itself. the The problem is they do not have a robust human system behind it to fix the problems when the AI
right,
gets it wrong.
right. There
If
should
you're going
be
to have the system there to kind of check everything, make sure everything's good, catch, sort of the edge cases and stuff like that, I get it. I totally understand why they might need to do that. But on the other hand, it's clear that AI system is not working particularly well, as there are so many false flags that are happening. And then they don't have a robust human system on the back end to fix the problems when they happen. And so you get people that, and I'm going to say, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of YouTubers out there. They're not depending on their YouTube income every single month to put food on the table, but nonetheless, they've worked hard to get their channels monetized, to be able to accept super chats and do stuff, and to get their streams out there. They're working hard to do this stuff, and then like you're just pulling the rug out from under them because some poorly trained AI system is catching out stuff that it shouldn't be, and you don't have the humans there to fix it when it's hallucinating or whatever, and that's incredibly frustrating.
I see. I was just looking at my DMs, and I saw you sending me a DM that you're not feeling well.
Oh, I'm doing all right for the moment, so we're good. Yeah.
Now I'm worried.
No, no, no,
Now
no.
you won't make it to the show.
No, no. I'm here. I'm here. We'll see how long I can hang out, but yeah, it's I'm doing all right at the moment. So, uh, heavily medicated. So, if I start snoring, just say something.
So yeah, no, I definitely will. Now I wanted to share with you. Now this is an AV club, so it's not really a publication I take seriously, but it's not the only one I've seen. I've seen a number of these today that they started a little bit. These guys, this club AV, whatever it AV club is, like Andy Weir sort of apologizes after opening fire on modern Star Trek. And can you see this?
Yes.
So here, they initially did like, whatever, conservative influencer, Will Jordan. He lives in Scotland. He doesn't live in the US. I don't know if you can really label him as a conservative influencer. Conservative influencer, I kind of think of an American guy who is like a conservative and a Republican. You could say that he has certain views that would align with certain people or whatever, but I don't really think that that's his thing. Like, he doesn't really sit around and lecture you about politics. He
No.
just, he doesn't like entertainment to be injected with politics all the time, but I don't think that he lectures you about even his politics. Certainly labeling him as a conservative is disingenuous. And there was something else there was another place that they're like, "Oh, like, he's actually like one of those kind of anti-woke guys." And then so there's something like, there's some other I saw a number of these that now they're trying to reframe him like they're doing that thing where they want to gently explain that like he's an istinophobe. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with even being a conservative, and he should be allowed to say whatever he wants. And I hate that it's always a one-way street.
Oh,
All
of
these
course it
people.
of course
I've
it
never
is.
seen anybody that like goes on the View to talk to somebody. Like I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger went on the View and talked to them. So what? Did I start doing a rally afterwards that like nobody should ever talk to him again because he was on the View? He's allowed to go to do interviews wherever he wants. You know what I mean? Like this is so stupid. And the other thing is that a guy that doesn't like a show can say he doesn't like it. And instead of actually focusing, what's really interesting? What have we learned? What have we learned about Alex Kurtzman, who has destroyed Star Trek? What have we learned? Quentin Tarantino, at some point, at least when J.J. Abrams was around, he wanted to do a Star Trek movie. They got rid of him. Roger Avery, who wrote Pulp Fiction with Quentin Tarantino, huge Star Trek fan, saw what Alex Kurtzman was doing, thought he wasn't doing well, met up with him and said, "Hey, let me help you," or contacted him and said, "Let me help you. I can help you." He didn't even care about the money. He's just like, "I love Star Trek. Let me help you do something that's better than what you're doing." And Kurtzman is like, "No." And then you had, Andy Weir, obviously understands science fiction better than Kurtzman, is like, "Let me help you. Let me do a thing. I really love Star Trek." No, like your thing sucks. Everything sucks except for like Section 32, Starfleet Academy, and Star Trek Discovery. In Kurtzman's world, those are good things, which he admitted he can take Star Trek and use it as a platform to promote his like favorite ideologies. That's why I
Oh
like
yeah.
Star Trek. And anybody that actually had any kind of pedigree reach out to him, and he's like, "No, you can't do it." Even Terry Matalas, that you could say that third season of Picard, some people liked it, hated it, didn't, whatever. I still think that Terry Matalas tried, at least with whatever parameters he could work with there, to do something that wasn't an insult to fans. At minimum, he at least tried. What does Kurtzman do? Gets rid of him immediately. Like nobody can be in Kurtzman's orbit aside from Kurtzman and these all weirdo activists. And the second that you say something bad, the second that you say this is shitty and it's not good, everybody has meltdowns, including also, yeah, somebody mentioned it here, Grace Randolph, who's super annoying.
Oh jeez.
Let me
Yeah.
try to.
I still do not understand why she is popular. I can't I cannot wrap my head around
You know,
who watches her, who subscribes to her channel, who values that woman's opinion. I'm not saying all women don't have opinions that are
no,
worthwhile.
she
I'm
she
saying
isn't.
this woman,
I think
her
she's really
specifically.
dumb. I think she's really dumb,
She
personally.
is. I don't. I just don't get it. I
Let me see for a second if I can
am I
find
not
this.
in on the joke? Are they there because they enjoy listening to someone who
So here's what
sounds
she
like
wrote.
she's got doesn't have two brain cells to rub together? I don't really understand why anyone would value her opinion at all.
So Grace Randolph wrote, "Never punch down. Weir should have just said he had some cool ideas for a Star Trek show. Weir's not a pundit. He's in the industry himself. It's totally unprofessional and inappropriate for him to say something like this. Someone doesn't understand that. They're just making it clear they have no professional experience." Oh, shut
Punching
up.
punching down? What the hell is she talking about? He is a writer.
First of all,
Kurtzman is the head of a production studio.
he's the boss of one of the biggest sci-fi franchises ever. He's run it into the ground. Andy Weir actually pitched a show to him and said, "Hey, maybe I could
Yeah.
do something for you that's good." And Kurtzman laughed him out of the building or whatever it is. I don't think that this is a punching down situation.
No.
But the thing is that Grace Randolph herself is disingenuous. I've heard her plenty of times take an actor, an actress, or somebody that she doesn't like and just talk shit about them. She does that also with quote unquote, "Oh, you don't punch down other people in your thing, it's unprofessional." I've heard her talk shit about like Nerdrotic and all these other things. You quickly say whatever you want about those people, including probably if she ever. I don't know. I don't know if she spoke about Drinker before, but if she could, she'd probably say a similar thing that she said about Nerdrotic. She's very happy to quote unquote punch down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
in their case, I guess they have like more subscribers than she does, but all I'm saying is that she doesn't have any problem talking shit about anybody that she wants, whether it's her peers or her colleagues or people in the industry. I've seen her do it plenty of times. There's people that she doesn't like, and she'll just sit around and talk shit about them all day. Sorry, Sean. So this is just, hypocrisy. And it's obvious, like I said, if this was a situation with like Taylor Sheridan and Landman, Grace Randolph would not do a quarter of a tweet. She would not write about it. The only reason you get this stuff is because of this. And then, you know, people were complaining. She's like, Andy Weir has a big hit. Star Trek is a total disaster. Lady, you are, I don't want to say bad words. I don't want to say bad words, Professor, but Andy Weir has one thing that he did now that, yes, it's a big hit movie. Alex Kurtzman for the past decade has been the boss of one of the biggest sci-fi franchises of all time. You can't make it seem like he doesn't deserve to be handled with kid gloves.
No,
You know what?
no,
It not
absolutely
only
not.
we need to call out somebody, forget about the politics, forget about all the identity politics and all the whatever woke stuff, whatever. Forget about all of that. He is bad at his job. Any other person in the world working at any other job, in any industry, in any field, in anything, with the type of results that Kurtzman had, would have been fired 5 minutes after he was hired or never hired to begin with. The fact that he was here 10 years with people with the likes of Grace Randolph, who's pretty much the access media at this point, even though she pretends she's independent, totally access media, and all these other more quote unquote official access media, all protecting him. It is pathetic. It is pathetic they protect this man. And every time that he produces something shitty, they all protect him. And I have no respect for them. So I don't know. I didn't probably think very. This wasn't a well thought out comment of mine. I did it almost like just I was annoyed and I wrote it in a second. I don't even know if it's good, but I wrote exactly great. Starfleet Academy is a complete disaster. So stop playing your stupid shill games and tell it like it is. Andy Weir has a big hit. Good. Maybe Alex Kurtzman, who you are enabling, can learn something from him instead of rejecting his pitch ideas.
I
And this,
mean,
by the way, is Jill's thing. But thankfully, I did see that YouTube was talking to her, so that's good. In any case, there's that, and the other thing. Are you still there, Professor?
yeah, I'm still here.
So there was another thing I wanted to show you that was interesting. Remember that post that I showed you that I did? This one, I think. Can you
Hmm.
see it, Professor?
Yeah.
Okay. So the funny thing is, and this is the wackiest part. A lot of people were nice to me about this tweet. A lot of people had, interesting things to say. But you know who popped up in those kind of, oh shoot, how do I find it? How do I find the people that reposted it with a quote?
Oh.
Why don't I see them?
Mm,
You'd think I would be able to. This is so weird.
yeah.
Uh, view post activity quotes. Okay, are you with me?
Yeah.
So comics and everything. Danny, she's nice. Marvin Montanaro from that Park Place, and
Yeah.
he does Geeks and Gamers and that Park Place. Good guy. Professor Hayteen said his agent and CIA are probably the ones that asked for the apology. Interesting, but then I got a few interesting ones. First of all, this guy. If you remember somebody from his people or his crew or his groupies or
Oh,
something
yeah. Oh,
popped up in our
Eric
thing like, why
debunks.
don't
Yeah.
you refuse to debate like Eric? I don't even know where this
Yeah.
guy's from, but now I guess
I
he's
don't even
responding.
know who you are.
Right. So he wrote, he didn't simply say, I didn't like it. He said he pitched an idea to them. Then when they didn't like it, he said, fuck them. He also called their shows shit. So this is a bad faith question. What are you talking about? He's allowed to say whatever he wants. What is this? What are we, you know, a guy can't say that he didn't like a show. You know what I'm saying? Like, he thought that their shows, like, he didn't even say all their shows are crappy. He said that he liked Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks to an extent, but he
Mhm.
thought that the other ones were shitty or whatever it is. You're allowed to say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. You're entitled to have your opinion. I don't understand
Yeah.
why this is even a thing. These are people that are bitter for other reasons that have nothing to
Oh,
do with this.
well, understand that I think that a lot of this has to do with industry stuff. If you're part of the industry, if you're in the industry, you are not allowed to criticize other people's work. Like we've seen this over and over and over again. If you criticize someone else's work, then you're potentially burning bridges for work that you could get in the future, collaborations you could have in the future, other places where you could connect with whatever. So they immediately, anytime somebody says, oh, I mean, yeah, did you see The Flash? That movie was terrible, right? You can't say that. No, you have to come out and say like, oh, best comic book movie I've ever seen, right? Like you have to say the sort of BS in the industry, and I think they're looking at this as like, oh, well, he has to toe the line, right? He has to be, part of the party. He has to say, oh, I loved his work. I don't know what you had wrong with it. I thought it was great. Like he's just supposed to repeat that stuff, and I just don't think that's who Andy Weir is.
I'm very lucky, by the way. I'm very lucky that one, people don't know who I am because I'm a puppet. And the other thing is, even if they did know who I am, I'm just not important enough or significant enough that anybody would care what my opinion is. Andy Weir is kind of the man of the hour of that movie. So people, I guess, are, like he said in his apology, paying attention to what he's saying. If people, based on the stuff that you and I talk about, I feel like I'd be canceled like 50 times every show. Like there's no way
Yeah,
to survive that, considering all the things that I say. But thankfully, nobody cares about me. You
yeah.
said like he said, oh, for 10 years nobody cared. I don't even have the book that everybody's like talking about. Do you get what I mean? Like I don't even have that achievement to say, well, I did do this and everybody knows me. So I think that I'm pretty much okay. But I just think it's funny. Now, Matt Jarbo, the reason it was interesting, first of all, I don't follow these guys. I don't know where they came from. You know what I mean? Like, sure, they could have seen this tweet by somebody maybe posted it or whatever it is. It's just strange that both of them appeared in my quotes. Matt Jarbo said, if he would have said that Landman was shit, then maybe. The criticism over Star Trek wasn't why people got mad at, and he, of course, puts in, always trying to bring these people in, like Andy Weir, author. They got mad at him for attacking working creatives because he is a working creator. That's what it was.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. See,
first of
exactly
all,
what I'm saying. Like
why was it
if you
important to
were
tag him, though? Why was it important to tag him? Can you explain that?
because he's a clout chasing twit. That's what he's trying to make connections. He wants to get to Andrew again. I
That's the
think
thing.
Matt Jarbo's is pissed off about him talking to Drinker because he's not the one talking to Drinker.
Right. All these
He's
people,
jealous as hell.
that I've said this, that I think that there's part of it is an ideology thing, and in some cases I think it's just jealousy. But in any case, this is so weird because obviously nobody would say anything if he said Landman was shit. There would be nobody demanding that he apologize. He would be posting no apologies. There would be nobody crying or whining about it. None of these people that are all popping up in everybody's feeds would not be saying anything. So this is hypocrisy at its finest. Not to mention, like I said, I will say that some of the bigger, kind of mainstream access media shill trade rags, they didn't go. Not all of them went out to say that he was an islamophobe critical drinker, which I guess is better than nothing because in the past they would have certainly gone that route. But some of those publications made sure to point that out, that they believe he's a
Hmm.
istophobe or he's a conservative.
Yeah.
There's nothing. First of all, even if he was a conservative American, which he's not, there's nothing wrong with that either. I hate that they could just write it as though like they're writing it as though some bad thing. As much as we're always like, let me put it this way. I don't often read like an article that just says like, hey, this person, whatever, he said this and this. Of course he is a stupid leftist. You know what I mean? Like I never see
Hmm.
that in an article. Why are people always so like, it's so easy to just write the
Yeah.
whole,
Oh, he's a conservative, and so that in the media's eyes immediately discredits them.
right, exactly. This is the thing that annoys me. It's like you don't like his podcast, you do like his podcast, you don't rate him, you do rate him. You can say whatever you want, but once you have to like add this comment before his name when he doesn't even live here, and you're just trying to reshape the public opinion, hoping that maybe if you continue to write this in enough places, the next time, like I said, the next time there will be a movie that succeeds, and some director is like, hey, maybe I'll go to Drinker and talk to him about my movie. Somebody will be like, you don't want to, you don't want to kick that hornet's nest again. This is exactly why they're doing it. That and jealousy, some of it is ideology. Some of it is also the access media realizing that they're not relevant anymore. You know what I mean? Back in the day, this Andy Weir guy would go to all these places now that are complaining, but he doesn't need to go to there because he doesn't care. And the worst part about it is, it's not that somebody coaxed him or somebody called him and said, "Do me a favor and go on this drinker show." It felt like he really likes this channel. He watches this channel, and he went to the channel that he wanted to hang out, with a guy there. He hung out there for 90 minutes and seemed to be having a blast. And I think that this is what pains them more than anything. But yeah,
Mhm.
so uh, what I will say that I've learned from this is that I guess we're not done with this kind of access media and mainstream media and the woke politics and all this kind of, in the industry. I guess we're not done with that. I'd like to think that we're done with it, but it's not done. It's just that maybe there's sort of momentum against it, meaning I think people are sick of it. There's enough failures in
Yeah.
entertainment with all this kind of stuff, and maybe begrudgingly they're releasing movies like Project Hail Mary, and maybe we'll see more of that. I have been hearing from people like Script Doctor that there seems to be more of a shift towards regular and less of all this kind of preachy politics stuff. But that doesn't mean that those people aren't still there and they aren't still trying to use their shitty maneuvers, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep. And I just before we go too far, I want to go back to what we were just Jorbo's comment there, talking about it was a creator attacking another creator. He didn't attack a creator because Kurtzman has never created a damned thing in his
Didn't create them.
entire life. He is a serial just hack. Okay,
Biggest hack.
anybody, anyone in the audience, anybody, you find me one film, television show, project out there that was created by Alex Kurtzman. Not Alex Kurtzman and another co-creator, not Alex Kurtzman and another writer, not Alex Kurtzman and J.J. Abrams or Robert Orsi or any of these. You find me one project, just one, that has only Alex Kurtzman's name on it. You can't. He is an absolute hack. He is a guy who has just tied himself to other creators for his entire career. He has never made a damn thing. He is not a creator. He is some sort of impressively successful lamprey who has gotten through Hollywood by attaching himself to other writers, other people who are creators, who are successful. He has never created a damn thing. Again, I dare you, go out and find me that one project that was created by Kurtzman alone. You can't do it.
I agree. I
He's
agree.
he's he's a complete hack. He ties himself to other people's work. That is the only way he has succeeded in Hollywood, is by somehow managing to connect himself to other people who were in some way successful. Although I will say, I don't even think he's managed to connect himself to anybody who was particularly all that great. I will say Robert Orci, or Orci, I can never remember how to pronounce his name. Roberto Orci was a pretty good writer. He had some good ideas. I wouldn't say he was great.
He was
But
better than
he had
Kurtzman,
some
though.
good stuff. He was, well, I mean, again, I don't think Kurtzman's ever written a damn thing. I think he looks at other people's stuff and is like, oh, do you think you could make it a little more woke? Do you think you could add, why aren't there any gay characters in this? Do you think that we could, maybe insert a little something here that talks about racism or whatever? Like, that's what he does. That's all he does. Guarantee you. He is a total hack. He has never created anything in his life. Sorry,
Yeah.
little rant there, but
No, no,
I am sick and tired of people trying to go to this guy's defense. He has never been the chief creative. He has never done anything where he has actually gone out and created anything by himself. He is always co-credited in every single project he has ever done. And
he's a
that tells
complete
me
bum.
he has no creative instincts whatsoever.
No, he's the big, like, as far as I'm concerned, I hate to say this because for me, it's basically like They could compete in the Olympics, and one would win like the gold medal, and the other one with the silver medal. But the thing is that he's even worse than J.J. Abrams, and I can't believe I'm saying that because J.J. Abrams, if like he's the gold medal of hacks, in my opinion, Alex Kurtzman, J.J. Abrams would immediately stand in the podium next to him as like silver. You know what I mean? You know at the end of the Olympics, are they all three stand together on that podium? You have like Kurtzman with a gold, J.J. Abrams next to him with the silver. Uh, I don't know who, or maybe Kathleen Kennedy could also be a contender for that. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kurtzman steps up to the gold medal, takes it off the other guy's shoulder, and then like sort of drapes it on his neck, and then just puts his arm around the guy that actually won the gold to be like, "Yeah, see, we did it. We did it."
he's I consider him a creative con man, even a bigger one than J.J. Abrams. J.J.
Even bigger than J.J. Abrams, no question, no question.
This is hard for me to say because I really am annoyed by J.J. Abrams, but I still will say that somehow Alex Kurtzman is worse. I guess like J.J. Abrams can say that he directed a few things, he created some shows. I think that he runs into the same problem every time. Anytime you leave J.J. Abrams like in charge of something for too long, suddenly 70 mystery boxes appear and it just becomes a joke. But initially, like if you give J.J. Abrams like a very, very small leeway to do something that he has to start and finish, and it's not like 70 hours or a trilogy or a series, maybe he could do something that's almost serviceable. Barely, like and again, like most of the stuff he'll do will be shitty, and I have nothing good to say about him. Alex Kurtzman is somehow even worse than that. He can't even do the pretending to do something right. There isn't one thing that this man has been in charge of himself, that he's the driving force. That is, first of all, most of the stuff is not even his, but once he tried to do stuff like Section 31 that was his baby, and Starfleet Academy, you saw what the man was worth, which is nothing. Creative, at least. I don't want to talk to him personally. Andy Weir says he's a nice guy. Maybe he's a nice guy. I've met a lot of nice people. That doesn't mean you give him Star Trek. Maybe he's nice and he needs to sit around and talk like, I don't know what. Maybe you should go to the local park and talk to some people walking around there. Actually, that kind of sounds weird, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Maybe you should go to the bar and like to a local bar and see if there's people there that want to talk to him. Professor?
Couldn't tell you. I wouldn't spark up a conversation with him.
I wouldn't. He
Uh,
looks like a complete weirdo to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Probably walks into a bar, he's like, "Hey, I'm Alex Kurtzman." You're like, "Who is this guy?" And they
Hey,
leave. The only thing he could have been is like the boss of Star Trek.
yeah.
That's the only
Alex,
thing that he could be, like,
hi, I'm Alex Kurtzman. You want to have a beer with me? No, actually,
"Nope,
no,
nope,
no, I don't.
Kurtzy. We'll
No,
see
I
you
don't.
later,
Thanks very
Kurtzy."
much. In fact, can I buy you something to go the hell away? Because I don't want to talk to you.
So, that was that whole situation with Critical Drinker. It was not a clickbait, as somebody said. I actually did wanna
No.
talk about it.
Yeah, no, the whole situation, man, was so ridiculous. People getting so upset about a writer going on a stream with a guy and talking to him. And again, the truth is people like Jorbo and some of these other weirdos, they don't like Drinker because he has a huge audience.
Of
He's
course.
got people that actually listen to what he has to say. But at the same time, I don't think that Drinker has a very big audience of people who are just, as we say, lapping up what he has to say. They're not just like following his every word and listening to his commands to go out and go rate this movie poorly, right? Like, because that's not what Drinker does. He doesn't do that kind of thing. He doesn't say, "Hey, go out and attack this film for me." Like he's never
No.
ever done anything like that. He has his opinions, and I think the vast majority of the people that listen to Drinker, they enjoy the humorous takes that he has on things. Sometimes we agree with him, sometimes we don't. But he's got a big audience. He's got lots of people that enjoy his material, and a lot of these other people, they're just jealous that they don't have that kind of following,
By
because
the
they
way,
want that following so they could send out people like foot soldiers to attack people.
but
Well,
Jill says all this talk about Kurtzman walking up to people is really creepy. Just imagining it, yeah.
I am
By the
Alex
way, Jill,
Kurtzman.
I know it's a late hour and there's no pressure whatsoever. Like I'm not doing this to put you on the spot, but I sent you a DM if that's of interest to you. I know it's a late hour, no pressure at all. Like I just really like Jill, but Jill has a life of her own, and I'm not pressuring in any way, Jill. In any case, what was I going to say? The thing with Drinker is, I'll tell you this about myself. I am one of the early viewers of the Critical Drinker. There's so many people today that talk about him that maybe started watching it when he had like 1 million viewers or whatever it is. When I started watching his channel, I believe he had tens of thousands of viewers. Like when he got to 100,000 and like he spoke, I think he was like on a mountain or something, and he's like, I just reached 100,000. I thought there was something like that where I don't think I saw his face really before that for some reason. I think he's on a mountain and sort of thanking people. Or at least in his videos, you didn't really see his face. I don't really know how to explain it, but suddenly you saw him on a mountain, like, thanking people because he reached 100,000 people, 100,000 subscribers, which was a huge deal. This was a very long time ago. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, Back in the day, also even on Twitter from time to time, I'd have some kind of interaction with him very, very early on. And at the time, the reason why I liked it, and I didn't know, I mean, you never know what's going to blow up or what's not going to blow up or what's going to succeed or not. The reason I started watching it is not because I watch 1 million YouTube channels and I just like watching stuff. It wasn't something that, oh, everybody's watching it, so I have to watch it. I actually, just because of the circles that we're in, I didn't like The Last Jedi, was kind of getting to know people and somehow landed on his channel. Maybe somebody forwarded me a link or one of my friends or one of the whatever, and I looked at a video. I really enjoyed the way he explained what he didn't like about the movie. I
Yeah.
thought that there was something between the humor, but also legitimate criticism. It's very easy to see stuff and you're like, oh, this is woke shit or this is that. And I don't like this. I don't like that. But if you actually watch his videos, he doesn't just go out and say that in spite of what these publications, these mainstream media publications were trying to paint him as. What he usually does is he explains why the story didn't work, why there's certain parts of it that fall apart, why there's things that, could have been better. And I'll tell you this, I do reviews today, of course, like, on my other channel, and I am obviously not in the league of wherever Drinker is, but I will say that Drinker and his videos and whatever were really like an eye opener for me for what a review could be. I definitely learned, and I think a lot of people learned. I think a lot of people watched that and they're like, yes, this is a really good way to review movies. And I don't think, at least for me, before watching his videos, I didn't feel like I quite saw movies being reviewed that way beforehand. So in a way, he kind of did his own thing, and instead of giving him some credit for it, people are always looking to try to tear down a guy that does well. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you don't have to like his opinion. And there's times that I've seen like a video of his, even if it's a video that he's saying something about a movie that I disagree with, I still like hearing his arguments. I like hearing his explanation for why he felt a certain way. And I don't have an issue. There's friends sometimes that I have, and this could happen between you and me also. There could be a movie that you'll like, and maybe I'll be like, well, I didn't love that movie, or a movie that I'll like, and I'll be like, well, it's not my favorite. You can't always have a situation where everybody loves the same movie. I don't want it to be that way either. I like arguing with people. It's just in the past we could argue about the merits of the movie when it comes to why you like it and why you don't like it. And today it's become all this kind of like, identity politics, all this weird Hollywood agenda
Yeah.
stuff. But there's nothing wrong with people having different opinions about movies, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh no, nothing wrong at all with people having different opinions. But yeah, different opinions, as you said, in many situations have now been outlawed, because what they do is they cast movies, they cast TV shows, they put these things together with certain ideologies, certain people of certain colors in certain roles, so that when you say, "Wow, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a terrible show," Then they come back and tell you, "Oh, you're not allowed to say that. You what do you hate? Are you racist? Do you not like Moses Ingram? You don't like like, that had nothing to do with it. I just said the show was terrible and it's objectively terrible. No, you're just a racist because you don't like the main one of the main characters is a black woman, and I didn't say anything like that, right? But no, it's always like they constantly do this. It's a known playbook. You make sure to insert these particular identities, particular characters, particular topics, so that you have a shield against criticism. And it's gotten just ridiculous, right? It's constantly out there with everything. We were talking about this just in the last week as we were talking about the addition of Black Snape to the Harry Potter show, which it's absurd. It's now if somebody says, you didn't like the show. Oh, you're one of those people that doesn't like Black Snape. Like, well, actually, I just thought the show was crap. Right? Well, no, yeah, sure, that's your excuse, but no, you're just a racist. It's like it's gotten so tiresome, man. It really has. It's always the same thing. Always the same thing.
Absolutely. And I've told you this before, again, the Drinker has 2.5 to almost 2.5 million followers. Doesn't need support from me, you know what I mean? Like I don't think he needs anything from anybody. I think he's reached a point where he's done it and he does whatever he does. And even the mainstream media or whatever they're trying to do, I don't think they can really make a dent in what he does. But what I'll say,
as they'll make just as big a dent as the people who are boycotting the Hail Mary movie because Andy Weir went on Drinker. It's going to make just as big a dent in the in his followers and his the way that he does his channel as it is going to make a dent in the box office for Hail Mary.
And the people that agree with him wholeheartedly are the people that watched Starfleet Academy, which is very few people. But do you get what I'm saying? It's like that crowd is what they're going for, and that crowd, you can't sustain anything with that crowd. I will just say the final thing about this is that in my reviews, a lot of times people write to me, "Oh, you're the discount, critical drinker," because I guess, and I never really know what to say about that. I mean, obviously, and I've told him this before, that actually watching his videos from early on really gave me, the desire to do reviews as well. And sure, I mean, I think that you could be influenced, or you could see his style and like it. I still think I give my own kind of spin on it, but sure, I mean, I don't mind. People think that it's an insult when they're like, "You're the discount critical drinker." It's not an insult to me. Like, i'm happy I'm happy to be the discount. I'm happy to be the discount version. It's like I told you this before, I think, that you have Denzel Washington, right? And if you can't get Denzel Washington for a movie, for a while there was this guy like Dennis Haysbert. You'd call like Dennis Haysbert. Now, obviously, Dennis Haysbert is not a big star like Denzel Washington, but he still gets booked for gigs. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, sure.
Like, I guess what I'm saying is, it's fine. I mean, if I'm not him, I don't have 2.5 million. It's all true. It's all true. Everything they wrote in the comments. But at the same time, maybe there'll be a movie that he didn't cover, or somebody wants a good review and they'll watch my review. And I'm happy about that. So just explaining that, just because I don't know if you've ever seen those comments in my comment section.
I have, yeah. I've seen a few of those over the years. Over the months. Yeah. Thanks to everybody who's joining us tonight on both YouTube and out on Rumble. Hey, if you don't mind, we would love it if you would give the channel a like, give it a thumbs up, and if you like what you're seeing here and you enjoy it, then please make sure to follow or subscribe over on Rumble so that you get notified next time we're streaming. And hey, on Rumble, if you like what you're seeing, maybe repost it for us and help bump us up in the algorithm. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Definitely do everything the professor said. And so I guess that was a lot of this stuff. Now, there's another thing that happened today. What was it, James Gunn?
Oh, before we move on, we do have super chats. Let's hit the super chats before we jump on to our next subject. I think we may only have just one here from Dutch Gradient. So yeah. think we covered the rest.
Okay. Dutch Gradient is really being very generous today.
Very generous this evening. Yep.
Okay. Let's see what it says. I'm going to share it right now. Tell some jokes, Professor. Uh, okay. So this isn't the one that I wanted to share. Okay, maybe this is it. I think I got it now. Start share. Only the best technology on the Night Owl. So we have Dutch Gradient says the critical drinker inspired me to make my own videos. I'm in the editing stage of my first one right now. Alien 3 is not canon, and I prove it. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people my story was, and I think some people know this, is that I actually started as a Twitter account that did kind of news from the industry, and the idea was is I wanted to tell people about things that were happening in the industry, but not to do it in the kind of shill discussing film type of way, but to do it in a more real, way that even calls out studios on a lot of their nonsense, and I thought I was doing a great service, and initially it was actually going pretty well, but then what happened was is that a few mainstream media articles quoted a few times a few things that I said. For it was a strange series of events that led to this. But after that, every time I'd post something, I would get shadow banned. Unfortunately, now these things all sound very strange when you think about the way X is under Elon Musk. But before Elon Musk, when it was like under the previous regime, as bizarre as it sounds, a studio could potentially call Twitter and say, "Hey, why are people seeing this guy's tweets so much?" And then suddenly that guy, you wouldn't see his tweets anymore. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like, it sounds bizarre, and you're like, "What?" The studio at the time when I told people this, and especially, like, more kind of normies that are not in our circles, they're like, "You're trying to tell me that a studio reached out to Twitter and told them that they don't want people to see your tweets? Are you insane?" People thought that I'm nutty, and I need to go into, like, an insane asylum. Meanwhile, there was even a few articles written about it, about my account specifically, because at the time you had a tool where you could check it was shadow banned. But people around me, even in the real world, and this also caused something to change in me because I saw that I was changing. The people around me, in my kind of in the real world, didn't fully understand me. If you understand what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
like people like you in our circles, people like us, we understood each other because we were seeing what was happening. But people that didn't see what was happening behind the curtain, they're just kind of like in the matrix. They're like, "You're crazy. You think that somebody called and told them to do that to your account?" And I don't know why this annoyed me so much. You know what I mean? Even now thinking about it annoys me. So at the end, what happened was is that after a few years of me working on this Twitter stuff, maybe more, I understood that I couldn't do anything with it, and I just decided to change course. And that's when I said, "Well, I'll start reviewing stuff. I'll do stuff on YouTube. I'll do stuff." And I had even a few people I knew that were supportive that said, "Hey, like you like the Critical Drinker, why don't you do reviews?" And I studied film, so I have actually some tools to be able to critique things. I'm not saying that I'm number one critic or I'm good. I'm not even saying I'm good like the drink or anything like that. But I said to myself, I have the basics. I can do some videos, and I started posting them. And sure, yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of times you look at stuff that you like and you enjoy, and obviously it could have some kind of influence on you. And like I said, I think that he opened a lot of people's eyes. He's probably helped influence and start a lot of channels, even
Yeah.
if he didn't personally know he was doing it. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's almost I don't know to say. Basically, like he, as you said, he kind of opened some people's eyes. I think part of that was just him being willing to say some things that other people were perhaps too afraid to say. It was taboo, right? And he was willing to say those things, to talk about those things, and he did it in a way that was fun, and people, frankly, people love his accent too, right?
He has it's all together.
There's he's created, he's curated this character of the critical drinker that, and he has fun with it, and he's laughing through his videos, and he's not afraid to step on someone's toes. He's not afraid to say what he thinks, and I think that that frequently appeals to a certain demographic of people, right?
I think so. And Yeah, so that's my thoughts about this whole thing. Nobody could say I just put it on the docket and didn't talk about it. I think we did do it,
For
and
2 hours, talked
90 minutes. We
90
did,
minutes, yeah,
like
just
Andy
whatever.
Weir interview,
Yeah.
gave it 90 minutes.
Exactly, we got as much time as the Andy Weir interview,
Although,
sure.
just so you know that the first 10, 15 minutes, we were talking about Rats on a Stick, which
Yeah, yeah,
actually
but,
made an appearance here briefly, and I'm so sorry for the
rat
people that
burgers, whatever.
I
It's
am genuinely sorry about the
no, it's
Rats on a
fine.
Stick.
I was it was funny because you were saying you weren't gonna show it, and then it got shown.
Because
It
the
cracked me.
thing is that I Googled it and said I won't
Yep.
show this window because this is too awful. And then I accidentally, when I was shuffling around, I showed the window. So I'm so sorry to people that had to see Rats on a Stick. I really apologize.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. So I guess now,
Oh,
what
Gunn.
Supergirl?
James Gunn. James Dunn.
I'm going to tell you something crazy now. I was busy all day. There was a trailer today, right? Was there a new trailer or something for
Well,
Supergirl?
oh, was there? I was also busy all
I was
day, so
busy.
I
I
don't
just thought there was a trailer. I don't even know. I know that Millie Alcock, the actress, she went and she said that started doing the whole Captain Marvel nonsense where she's, talking about how people don't like that there's a woman superhero, something like that. But before we get into that, is there a Supergirl trailer? I
There
don't
was
know
a
if the
new one that was posted 13 hours ago. Yes, the official trailer. Let me see if I can find one that is not in Indian.
that's important.
Uh,
If you find it, you could share it and then we could watch it.
here we go. Yeah, not in Hindi or anything. That would be a little weird. Yeah, we can take a look at it. I have not seen it, so genuinely I have
It's
to
the
say
real reaction. This is the
I
best
don't
type
know
of
what to tell you.
reaction because we've never seen it.
Yeah, I will tell you that I have seen some of the recent news about some of the test screenings of this movie. But we can get to that after we take a look at it.
True.
Hold on a second. It's giving me some trouble. I'm trying to share my tab here. Why?
I'm in presentation mode, so
Yep.
it
Nope.
should work.
There we go. All right. So
Okay, let's
for
watch
some
this
reason
thing.
the button was all grayed out. I had to back out and try again.
I was just
All right. Well,
It was kind of boring.
uh, I've seen this trailer before.
It's
Guardians
Guardians
of
of
the
the Galaxy.
Galaxy.
You know what? It's
It's
not
the
even
same thing. It's Guardians of the Galaxy, except instead of a stone, uh, the MacGuffin here is the dog. Like, it's okay, sure. It's the same thing. It's got all the same beats. It's all like, oh, we're gonna take all this music. Oh, you love this music. We're gonna put this music in here that you love. It's we've got this down on her luck, beaten down character. Of course, this trailer now, instead of getting starting out with the dog whizzing on Superman's face, we now have Superman here sending her a message. So they took out the bit that a lot of people complained about with her, with the dog pissing on Superman, and now they put him in here with him trying to be genuinely kind and trying to connect with her, saying you're not, if you keep leaving the planet, you're not gonna make friends here, and clearly she doesn't care, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, yeah, they removed that thing and they put him in and he seems kinder. That doesn't mean we're not gonna get the peeing thing in the movie, although if I was James
Oh,
Gunn,
we
I would.
will be. We'll get it. It'll be there.
He doesn't like removing stuff that he likes in the movie, and he probably will get it in there, but, what I think is that, yes, it reminds me of him trying to do his Guardians of the Galaxy, but worse than that, it's a long trailer, and there's nothing about it that really, like, captures me. I don't know why. It's just not working for me. It's, you know, you really have to do a lot now, especially in the comic book world, to do something that really gets people excited. I don't think this is it. I think that James Gunn, Tomahawk says Sasha Cali is still my Supergirl. I'm going to say something surprising. I saw that movie with the Flash, and Sasha Cali. If you actually dyed her hair blonde and gave her like long blonde hair and made her just kind of look more, I don't know. I don't know if this is a word, but like more womany. You know what I'm trying
Hmm.
to say? Less like a little boy, more womany, blonde and long hair. Maybe it wouldn't have been awful. It's just that like they're like, what if she kind of looked androgynous? And it's like you already lost me there.
Yep. And
Like
that is, I saw the face looking through the window here, and I thought that looks like David Krumholtz. That is David Krumholtz as her father.
Dutch
Yeah.
Gradient says the fucking sorry, Sean. Fucking trailer is using one of my late father's 20 songs he played on repeat for 30 dang years. Criminy, as if I didn't have enough reasons to not like this piece of shit movie already. Sorry to hear that, and sorry to hear about your father, but
Yep. Yeah.
uh,
We get yeah. There were a bunch of scenes here we saw in the first, sort of teaser of her, bumming rides around and whatever, going to raves, parties. The bad guy in this looks terrible. Seriously, it's what, a dude with a bunch of jewelry in his face, and his gang of marauders with jewelry in their face. Like, didn't we do this with the Ravagers in Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, it's the same thing. Uh,
yeah, it
it
just
it
feels like
just
keeps recycling the same ideas over and over again. It's very annoying.
We got two girl bossing their way through. We have Lobo. What do you think? What do you think of Lobo? We get a little bit better look of Lobo here.
I think he's
Oh,
probably going to be the highlight of this movie, but he's probably only going to be in it a limited of time. And yeah, I, I feel like they owe Jason Momoa because out of all those people, he had his solo movie, he made some money for them. I don't know. I guess they decided that they didn't want to lose him, so they gave him this Lobo role. It's fine. I don't really think he's going to move the needle one way or another. He's
no, no. I'll be honest. I mean, I think he fits this role better than he fit Aquaman.
You could be right.
I think this role works for him. I don't know if it's going to work in this movie. I don't know if it's going to, as you said, move the needle. I don't think it's going to change anything for this movie that he's in here playing, Lobo. That's funny. I like that casting. I'm fine with that casting. And I would love to see a faithful representation of Lobo in live action. I think that's also fun. Uh, he is a real asshole of a character. Some people love him. Some people, hate him. Some people love to hate him. He's one of those characters who's kind of divisive, right? Some people really enjoy him and others don't. I really want to see him be Lobo, though. I don't want to see him be a watered down milk toast version of Lobo, right? Lobo in the comics and in a lot of the representations of him, I mean, he is a real ass. He's very harsh. He's rude. He's he's dialed up to 11 all the time, right? He's always like too much. So if he's not going to be that, then it's not really Lobo. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. At least his portrayal of that character. But I don't have any faith that they're actually gonna do a particularly good job with that character. We got sky lasers, or sky beams, of course. Can't have a comic book movie without sky beams. We got her flying around. We've seen some of these before. Her smashing these people up on top of this ship or base or whatever. Um, her smashing through a bunch of other spaceships and so on. Not sure why I care. Um, yeah, and I don't know. It's just exists. There's nothing about this that says, "Man, I gotta go see that."
No, I agree with you. There isn't something that really gives that feeling. And give me 1 second. I'm trying to. So I just want to show you something because of what the comment was about Sasha Cali or Kai. It's
Yeah,
actually not Sasha Cali. I mean, in Spanish, it would be calle, like street, if that's what we're going. Which I think she's Latina, so it would be calle.
yeah.
But I guess like probably I don't know if Americans call her. You see the name and think it's Kali, but it's probably Kaye. Doesn't matter. Who cares? But
Yippee yippee ki
yippee ki But what I wanted to show you is that when she was cast in the role, there were people that were trying to do like fan simulations of what they thought she would look like as Supergirl. Are you ready?
Yeah,
So uh, let me do this. We can go back. This is what
no, that's
people were
fine.
thinking. They'll give her long blonde hair. They'll do like some kind of Supergirl thing. Now, it doesn't mean that she'll be good or bad, but I think that the fans that were thinking that that's what they were going to do, they were in the right direction. Meaning, if they would have taken that actress and tried to go in more of a direction like this, I think it would have been well received. But here's another simulation. Somebody did this one. Again, you don't have to love it, but I'm saying that like it at least looked a little more reasonable. This one is like in poor resolution, but somebody did something like that. These were ones that I think, you could have worked with something like this better. And instead, they're like, nope, let's make her look like a little boy. And yeah, I mean, let's look at the Supergirl Sasha Kaye. Let me see if I can find. This is what she ended up looking like. Let me see if I can. Let's see this. Are you ready? I
Yep.
mean, but like, come on, dude. Do you get
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, this
yeah.
is the best you can do. This is what you got. They quite literally wanted her to look like a little boy. This is like Superboy. And I saw people later like they didn't even give her a chance. Like I don't know. Even people that I like like Polly, the Latino slant, is a nice guy. He was like, "Oh, I really like Sasha Kaya." It says that like, dude, they made her look like a little boy. Professor, if they would have made like given her long blonde hair and that kind of outfit like you saw, that we looked at before,
Mhm.
don't you think she probably would have been more well received?
Yeah, absolutely. It's this, this has become the costume for every female superhero. They are covered from head to toe. It's almost like a superhero burqa. I swear to God. Like literally, like every female superhero now, their costume has to cover every inch of skin on their body except for their neck and their head. Like I'm surprised she's not wearing gloves, to be honest. Like it's like they have to cover every last inch of you. Now, otherwise, does the costume look okay? I guess it's, but it's so
They made
it's
sure that
so
there's
strange.
no skin and that she looks like a little boy. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm sorry, and the truth is, but you know what? The irony here at the end of the day, it's like James Gunn. No, I'm going to do it my way. And what does he do? Also, some nonsense. You know, I don't know. I mean, the girl that they chose for Supergirl in James Gunn's movie, she's not a terrible actress. In the first 4 episodes of The House of the Dragon, she played like the younger version of a character that then they do a time jump and she disappears. But I think that she was fine in that, and I didn't think she was a bad actress. I thought she was a decent actress. Whether she's a good Supergirl or not, I really don't know what to tell you. But the
Hmm.
movie itself seems to go in a direction that just annoys me.
Yeah. We got there's a comment from somebody I'm not familiar with. Welcome to the channel, Mr. Wilson, over on Rumble. Appreciate your being here tonight. Says it's about Chinese distribution overseas is where the real money is. That has been the assumption for a while, and that is the assumption that a lot of these productions have made. They want to chase after the Chinese market, the overseas market, in order to really get lots of money from all those viewers. And so yes, they bury certain characters on their posters. They have costumes and things that are going to be appropriate for Chinese audiences. Here's the secret: they're actually not making that much money from China. It gets viewership over there, but not enough, and it doesn't make them a lot of money because, in fact, China, if you air one of these pictures in China, they keep virtually all of the money. So it's not really making these studios anything. They wanted to chase after those audiences because they thought, oh, 6 billion people are going to watch our movie. But the truth is that a lot of the stuff that we make simply isn't popular over there
No,
outside of certain areas of China. And it is not making huge bucks for these studios. It's
right,
not.
but I want to say something else. As far as I know, why do people assume that Chinese people like seeing women look like little boys? I actually think they don't like it. I think that they too would want to see women that look good. I think that the Avengers, when they had like Scarlett Johansson, I think they liked that. I don't think that they asked for like Superboy. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Superboy girl or whatever you want to call this.
Or just completely covering them up from head to toe, not
No,
not showing any skin whatsoever. Like
no
it's
Chinese person ever asked for this, in my opinion. I don't think anybody. There's no
well,
Chinese focus group that they said
again,
that this is their
it's
Supergirl.
but when it comes to that stuff, Price, remember that it's not about what the audience wants. It's what the party is going to allow to be shown, right? So
They
when it comes
wanted
to
a little
that, they
boy.
have they have a lot of censors and stuff that prevent saying, you can't have this level of sexuality. You can't have these certain
They
things
were
happening
fine
in
with
your film.
Scarlett. They had no
Yeah,
problem with her.
yeah. It's just there's a lot that they're chasing after this market. It has never made big money for these studios. It never has. They can claim, oh look, we sold 1 billion tickets. Yeah, and you sold that billion tickets in China, and you got 20% of those ticket sales at best. Oh, and price has gone nuclear. Well, that's okay. But yeah, no, that has been a perception for a long time. And yes, these markets have been these productions, these studios have been chasing after China. I think a lot of these studios are starting to wake up to the fact that they are never going to actually be able to be really big in China. A lot of these productions do really well overseas, but they do so in Western countries that have similar values to the U.S. to start with. Right? They do solidly in Europe. They get good numbers over there. Uh, the movies that do really well in China are Chinese movies.
Yeah, that's true. Although with their box office numbers, you never know. They're like, this one made 70 billion now, and you're like, okay. I'm not saying that they would make up numbers, but you never know. Strugun says it's post Me Too garbage. Hollywood are the ones who were guilty for it and now preach out a treat. I think so. I've never been a big fan of that movement. Although I will say this, there was something annoying that happened. The stream itself, I really like. I had an annoying moment in recently. We did a stream. I don't think you were there that day on Robot Head's channel. I think you were busy doing something. You had something family related that
Well,
day.
yeah, unfortunately, yeah, the last few times, and
So
probably for the next couple of months, I've got a lot more on my plate until the semester's over. So I'm
that's okay.
probably
That's
not going to
okay.
make it to Robot Head stream very often,
I
unfortunately.
wasn't criticizing or anything. I'm
No,
just
no, no.
giving you a
Just say I
recap.
love being there. I love getting to join Robot Head and that conversation. It's just the actual real life gig that makes me money has to come first, and then family
Of
also
course,
has to come
work
first.
comes
So
first.
it's just it's just kind of where I am right now. So yeah, unfortunately, I am going to try and make it when I
I
can.
wasn't throwing you under the bus. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
no.
I'm just giving you a recap because you weren't there. So
Yeah,
basically, what
I
happened
try and
was,
watch when I can.
so somebody mentioned the whole like Harvey W thing, and I don't know why it annoys me. I'm trying to correct this now because there hasn't been a stream on Robot Head's channel since that day because he took a break. And in addition, even if there is a stream, I don't want to even bring this up again there, but somebody mentioned, I don't know if it was Ista or one of those people that, laws had to be changed in order to prosecute, Harvey W. That they had to change some law in order to be able to even prosecute him. And what I said at the time is that, you know, when the whole scandal with him broke out, I said that there were like, seemingly hundreds of women, but I said that I think that like the hundreds of women are not are a lot of people that he may have taken advantage of his position and maybe made shady deals with. But the thing is that I was saying that those ladies probably aren't the big thing that got him in trouble. Even though you could say that's bad, but I'm saying I thought that probably there was like 5 women that claimed that he did something more sinister than that, and I think that in that case, those were the cases that really got him into trouble. So people, I don't know why, listened to what I said and they came to the conclusion that I was saying that like there's no problem that like whatever he did was great or whatever it is. It's like it's not even what I said, but people sometimes want to hear whatever they want to hear. So I don't know why I'm bringing that up. I'm just saying like I never said that, never said he was great. He knew how to produce a film. He definitely was a very greedy guy and took advantage of his position for no reason whatsoever. I mean,
Sure.
basically, when you're the guy in Hollywood that you can just say that this actress is gonna, be a star, and then she gets like Academy Awards and things like that, you have a lot of power. And I'll tell you this, and I'll just say it once, and we can move on to something better. If you're that Harvey W. guy in the peak years that he's like the king of Hollywood, and he goes to a party with all these aspiring actresses, he would have no problem walking out with ladies that would not even doesn't matter how he looks, doesn't matter anything. This man would have no problem getting as many ladies as he wants. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
So the fact that he did what he did, and those things shows just how greedy he was, because it's really it's like, and maybe you could call it an illness or whatever it is, but it's so greedy that you could probably just walk around and people will just because of thinking that maybe you could do something for them without even him saying anything. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to go and say, "Oh, what if you came to my hotel room?" If he went to like parties and there were aspiring actresses, there are enough ones that would have just said, "I'm going with this guy." Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's really the most rotten thing about him, that like he didn't even need to do any of that. So maybe it says something about his personality or who he is. Maybe does have an illness and all that stuff. In any case, the reason I brought it up because they brought up Me Too, and then I had a flashback of that thing that I wasn't even saying something good, and somebody in the chat was like, "Of course, like Price loves him." I'm like, "Stop it! I never said I love him. Like, stop it! Don't say that. You good at producing movies, but that's the most you'll get out of me."
Yep. Well, as far as the Supergirl trailer is concerned, just to finish up our discussion there, that it looks like a cut and paste copy of Guardians of the Galaxy. The lead villain, I never really found a good frame of him, but he looks terrible. Literally, it just looks like a reject from a Borderlands video game. He's not even interesting. There's nothing about him that looks at all interesting. And then we do have Lobo in there. We'll have to wait and see if that portrayal's a good portrayal, or like I said, guaranteed $20 on the table for my bet. You will see Lobo be kicked in the balls, because we always have female heroes. They have to kick male heroes in the balls, especially in a James Gunn film. So that's going to happen. And then we just have this sort of plot. I'm like, where is this going? What is this story actually about? Her dog gets poisoned, and so she's looking for the antidote, but she's also helping this other little girl get revenge because some marauders killed her family. Like, I don't even understand why I'm supposed to care.
I
So,
don't. It looked.
all right, it's a Supergirl movie. Maybe you like Millie Alcock, maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't really care. She hasn't done anything that sets my hair on fire, but maybe she's good in it. I don't know. But here's the thing: it's based off of a very divisive, comic, uh, that was made by Tom King. A lot of people didn't like it. graphic novel, comic, whatever. Uh, and I don't see anything here that is all that worth of my time. Am I going to see it? Yeah, probably, just because we're going to talk about it on here, and I'll, probably get a discount ticket or something to go see it when it comes out. But I'm only going to go see it because I'm going to use it as fodder for content on YouTube, on Rumble, right?
We
Uh,
have to see it, yeah, but I mean,
that's the only reason I'm going to go see it. Otherwise, I really couldn't care less. It looks like a carbon copy of Guardians of the Galaxy. I've seen this movie before. It doesn't seem like it's even going to be all that interesting of an attempt at making this same kind of film. And I mean, honestly, we know it's going to probably be a bomb. The Gunn Superman that came out last year, just barely. After you take in everything, you take in their box office and you take in media sales and digital and stuff after the fact, maybe just barely got over the line to actually making some money. I think maybe James Gunn got a $10 check in the mail after all of that money had been made. But this one, they reportedly spent nearly as much on this as they spent on Superman.
well, they keep trying to change it. I hate this because I don't believe them.
I don't believe it one bit. I think that the numbers they initially gave us a long time ago, saying they spent almost as much on this one, maybe 10-12% less on this than they did on Superman. I think all of those numbers are true.
They're trying to sell a new story that it only cost $100 million to make, and I don't believe
BS. Absolute BS. The bigger numbers they sold us earlier are the true numbers. And
you said
you know what?
$200 million initially, at least, and now they're going for $100 million. And there have been reshoots. There have been a bunch of reshoots, and there's all this weird stuff going on with it. There is no chance that this movie is $100 million. Probably $200 million, with at least another $100 million in marketing. At least. This movie, in my opinion, has to make at least like $500 million just to break even. In my opinion, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think here's the thing. It doesn't matter what we think it needs to make. What is it actually going to make? Right? What do we think this movie is actually going to pull in? And the reality is female-led superhero films always do less than male-led superhero films. It's just built into the audience. There are fewer women who are interested in going out to see a female-led superhero movie. There are fewer men who are interested in going to see a female-led superhero movie. One is simply the types of movies that women like to see. Superhero movies don't really top that list. And then when it comes to men, they don't really care as much about seeing female-led superhero movies. Some end up doing really well. Wonder Woman, the first one, did really well.
And you know why? You know why? Beyond the fact that Wonder Woman is a popular character, you know why I think that Wonder Woman did well? And this is the part that nobody wants to admit. They chose an actress who, you could talk about her acting skills or whatever, but I don't think that anybody could say that she doesn't look nice. So they chose an actress who looks nice and is likable in the role. Now, what happened here? Women, this is the part that nobody wants to admit. Women, in spite of all the weird mainstream media crap, they like seeing women on screen that look good. They wanted to see a woman that looks good. That appeals to women, not just to men. Men, at the same time, don't mind going to see a movie where there's a lady that looks nice and she's the character, and it's a superhero movie. The woman who likes to see a nice looking lady kind of looks like a model. The men like that as well. This is important. Nobody's going to admit it, but I think it's important.
Yeah, and as I said, with these films, we very frequently, the just typical process is the female-led films do not do as well as male-led films. So we're probably looking at best about 2/3 of the box office that we got for Superman last year, right? So what was the final box office? It was around 600.
Uh,
So
what
so
Superman?
yeah.
Something 615 or something like
Yeah,
that.
650 something. So we're probably looking at 400 at best. Or 425 if it gets some really good buzz. And the truth is that we've started to see, the cracks are already showing. I don't know how many of these reports you've seen, Price, but we have a number of reports that have been coming out that Supergirl has seen an inordinate number of test screenings. This is weird. Test screenings, a normal movie, 2 or 3 test screenings at most. They're saying that this has received upwards of 8, maybe 9 different test screenings for this movie that they have had to change. I mean, we know for a fact they've had multiple different composers. This report says 3 different composers. And we also know from reports from the test screenings that we've had multiple different endings that have been filmed and edited for the movie because it's testing poorly with the audiences. So this is not going well.
No.
Even if you say, "Hey, it's going to be good, people are going to see it because they enjoyed Gunn Superman or whatever, questionable." But even if we say, "All right, hey, we expect it's going to perform just as well as last year's Superman or it's going to get the usual about 2/3 of the audience, whatever." I don't even know if it's going to get there. Because this really sounds like this is a crash and burn situation. Oh, we have anti-derivative Jill that's joining us. Are you there, Jill?
Oh, I
I'm
see.
here. I couldn't figure out how to fix my avatar, but yes, I
Oh,
had to do some chores.
we can add you to the thing like we did last time.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, you have to have OBS or a camera.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. I
Well,
actually
yeah.
think that there may be an update here where we wouldn't need OBS, but I have to test it out before using it. But let
Okay.
me find Jill's bringer here.
I was able to do it last time. I don't know what happened. I guess they fixed it, so I can't.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
a feature, not a bug, right?
anyway, I hear that Supergirl's supposed to have a cat.
Have they added a cat now?
No, not in this movie. In reality,
Oh, in reality.
in the reality of the comics, she's supposed to have a cat.
Oh, okay. See, it seems kind of opposed to her being so connected and so in love with her dog in this film, with the dog being the love interest, apparently.
Love interest.
Oh, you know what I mean. I'm just
Sorry,
messing.
Jill. Hopefully now, let me see. I just have to see what it looks like here. Yeah, I think I did well.
Oh
This is
yeah,
good.
awesome.
So,
That works.
yeah. So, basically, I don't know. I'm not saying she's a bad actress, but when I think of like Helen Slater as Supergirl, Helen Slater, you may not like her movie, but I thought she was a good Supergirl.
Mhm.
Oh,
For me, I still think that Helen Slater to date was the best Supergirl.
Okay, yeah.
well,
I like Helen Slater. Yeah.
in that one picture, she has long hair, but in the picture you showed earlier, she has short black hair. Why?
Oh,
Why?
the short black hair. Okay, short black hair was Sasha Kaye, who was in the Flash movie. Before James Gunn took over the DC universe or brand or whatever it
Oh,
is,
okay,
they
gotcha.
had the movie with the Flash with Ezra Miller that flopped, and they introduced that universe's Supergirl. That's the one that had short black hair and looked like a little boy. Now, after she was there for one movie, they said that they're James Gunn came along and said he doesn't want to hire her anymore, and he wanted this new girl to be Supergirl. But the thing is that I agree that they made that other actress for no reason look like a little boy, and it didn't work well. Bringing in this other actress, I don't know that he necessarily fixed the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, I don't know how much better this one is. Maybe she's better than the other one. I don't know. She's a decent actress, but I don't know. She doesn't really wow me personally. Jill, am I being a shallow man, or what do you think of this new
I don't
girl?
know. I don't know. All I know is that she showed up drunk at the end of the last movie, even though she shouldn't be drunk on Earth, and that's just basic science. And
Yeah, she's traveling to these other worlds to get drunk, but once she's in the area, she's in the influence of the yellow sun, she should not be drunk anymore, right? I mean, that's just like her body would start reacting to things, and like now she wouldn't be drunk because that was the whole point.
What?
She leaves the
Yes,
influence of the yellow sun to get drunk.
unless she was just supposed to be hungover, in which case she wasn't playing that very well.
Yeah.
Mr. Joka says Supergirl is supposed to be hot. That's an interesting.
I mean, it would certainly bring in some of the audience if they saw something that was attractive that they wanted to see on screen.
Uh, Putin 3 says technically the Supergirl from Flash was alternate universe Clark Kent. Yes, but the thing is, the reason they introduced her in that movie was the original plan was to get rid of Henry Cavill and say, well, Henry Cavill is gone. Now this little boy that's a girl, that's a little boy, this is Superman now. Or Supergirl, or whatever you want to call her. That was the whole plan. Getting rid of Cavill, putting in the little girl boy thing.
I am the Superman now. I'm the Superman now.
So that was the whole idea, but then they just, ended up abandoning all of that. The Real Headcase has a question for you, Jill. Jill, do you believe that Supergirl should be a really beautiful girl that people are like wowed by, but she's also super strong and kind of snarky?
Yes. That sounds right. That sounds good to
I'm
me.
cool with that too, yeah.
I definitely want to believe she's a kind of hero. I don't know. I'm not exactly super educated on Supergirl comic books or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just know what I want from Superman, so maybe that's not a good transposition.
Although I don't know why there's critics pull on the right there, but I have to say Vertigo is a wonderful movie.
Oh, it's an incredible film.
Incredible
I
movie.
love that movie.
Love it.
It is one of the best from Hitchcock, without question. Incredible film.
Then Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Brilliant movie, not a movie that I like to watch a lot. It's brilliant. I really, really appreciate and respect the movie. Doesn't have a lot of rewatchability for me. I just can't sit around and watch it all the time. But I have a lot of respect for it.
Yeah.
Jill, what do you think about 2001?
Oh, yeah, that's an incredible film. I plan to review that pretty soon on my channel, and it's definitely a film school kind of movie in terms
I watched it in film school.
I know there's a lot of people that would they hit a wall once he leaves the Discovery and then goes into the Monolith, and everything gets incredibly bizarre and weird, art school crazy. And I get it. I understand why people kind of lose it there. Having read the book, first of all, I was wowed by the movie even before I read the book. I love the first time I saw 2001, especially the first time I saw it in widescreen, saw the actual like widescreen production of the film, just blew my mind. An incredibly good film. And I kind of got what was going on there when I read the book. Now I completely understand what is trying to be conveyed in that very sort of psychedelic, trippy stuff that's happening at the end of the movie. But if you read the book, it's like, how else would they have shown this, right? There's no way, because essentially he's being shown universes come into existence and then die by extra dimensional beings that are like, basically his mind is being blown. And so how do you show that in a movie, right? It's like, okay, yeah, you do crazy weird things with light and strange, angles and colors and all of that. So, yeah, I get why people kind of fall off of it at that point. But I actually, a lot of people also say that it's very slow and it's very boring. I think it's very intentional in how it has the things happening at the pace that they happen, and we're seeing the daily, the lives of the astronauts and how they live on this mission and interacting with Hal and everything. Like I love that film.
Yes, the interaction with Hal, the artificial intelligence stuff is definitely ahead of its time, and That is
Yeah.
one of my favorite death scenes.
Oh
I
yes.
cry.
Yeah. Oh, it's yeah. It's very very uh very feels very very real too. I've not seen another film that presents a near future like space mission like 2001 does that makes it feel as real as like sort of a actual possible space that you could be in in an actual real spacecraft. Like it's fascinating. It looks great. And yeah,
Uh,
really
And
do
lots of
enjoy that
science
film.
fiction after that borrowed heavily
It
and it
heavily.
was influenced
Yes,
by
it
it.
did. Yeah.
Putin 3 says, "Oh, a great Supergirl would have been Wendy Jo Sperber." Isn't that the one from Back to the Future that played the original? No, no.
Yes, Wendy Jo Sperber, she's Marty's sister. Yes.
Why would she be the choice for Supergirl?
Oh, he's being silly. Putin's being ridiculous. That Wendy Jo Sperber. By the way, I love Wendy Jo Sperber. I think she's incredibly funny. I've seen her some of her other work that she did around the time,
She's great.
and
I wouldn't replace her in Back to the
she's
Future. She's
hilarious.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not the she's not a looker. But
Not as
she was always very funny and yeah, I think she died of cancer not
Oh, I
long
didn't know that. I
after
did not know that.
not long after Back to the Future, just
Oh,
less
that's
than a decade
terrible. I
after
didn't
Back to the
know that.
Future. Yeah,
I always liked her in the movie. That's a shame.
yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, there was another trailer, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed. There was a new trailer, like a second one for Masters of the Universe. I watched the trailer and I'll say this. I feel like they understood that the first trailer didn't leave a good impression, went back to the drawing board and tried to create a whole different type of trailer. Now, the problem is, I have already seen the previous trailer, so it's hard for me to ignore what I saw. And the fact that there's even a few of these kind of MCU jokey moments in it, already I know that they're trying to cover up for everything that's wrong with the movie. I don't know, maybe it'll be decent, but I just feel like this new trailer is just trying to cover their tracks, if you get what I'm saying. Like they knew that they didn't do well in the previous one and they're trying to correct it, but I don't believe them anymore. Do you get what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
that
say?
maybe the last one maybe went the wrong direction with it, and they're trying to do something a little different.
Let me
Yeah,
show you the trailer, the new
yeah,
one.
sure.
And
We do have a Rumble rant
oh, okay.
from our friend Born to Be Down. You see that in your in the
Born to
feed
Be
there?
Down. So it's a $10 Rumble rant. Thank you so
Yep.
much. Harry Potter reboot. Same but different. Yeah, that's exactly. You know what? You've been listening and that is 100% the thing. This
Same, but different.
same but
Something
different.
very, very different about this. Can't quite put my finger on what it might be.
It's just unnecessary. I don't know. I mean, those original movies, in my opinion, to be honest, I only watched the first 3 Harry Potter movies. I admit it. Uh, you've told me that I should watch the other ones, and I guess I'll get around to doing that. But the first 3 at least have a certain charm, and this series is trying to recreate the first movie. I didn't see anything in this trailer that made me think that this looked more fun or more lively than the original.
Well, and it's funny you should say that because looks more fun is definitely something I don't think about the new trailers either because they are really, really very dark. And the very first Harry Potter movie was super bright with bright colors and everything. I'd actually recommend you read the books though before you watch the rest of the movies. But yeah, I think someone just forgot to turn on the lights.
Well,
Maybe.
it honestly it looks like a lot of other like prestige television. Like it's very sort of muted and flat.
Gritty and dark.
Yeah, and they're trying to make it more gritty or something. I don't really get that. It's supposed to be a kid's property, right? It's supposed to be kind of fun and whimsical and
Exactly, it's supposed to
yes,
start especially it's supposed to start off that way. It's supposed to
start
be
on
very
yes, you're
childlike,
especially yeah.
and as you go along, then it gets darker. At least that's how the movies went.
Yes. Yeah, as they get older, not only are they maturing and they're have their views and their interests and stuff are changing as they become teenagers and they move further through their high school years, then at the same time, the world is kind of falling apart around them with the return of Voldemort and everything like that. And so, yes, things become much more serious. They can become much more dark as we start to see more and more of Voldemort and his followers, sort of taking control of the magical world. And it has that arc of
And
the story that's going on in the world and the lives that the kids that we've known since they were 11, kind of growing and changing. So yeah.
and one of the reasons it's such a celebrated series is because J.K. Rowling never talked down to the kids. She wasn't afraid to introduce difficult concepts or death or things that were just plain unfair.
Yep.
And that's why well, and I don't know how. I don't know if this is gonna capture that. I'm interested to see it just to see if they get the colors right for Ravenclaw, because the movies made him silver and blue instead of and a stupid raven instead of an eagle. So, but also I am interested to see the elements in the books that are not in the movies, like Peeves, the poltergeist, who is actually a very important character in the books.
He appears frequently in the books. Yes, they
Yeah,
don't do anything there, and
and
then
he does something really critical. He, like, destroys a magic chest that is supposed to be used the vanishing cabinet,
yes,
and Winky, all the other house elves are barely in the movies, we just get 2.
yeah,
But what kills it is that Snape is supposed to be the shade of milk, like, it's in the book, it's not like I he I would love if that actor could be Kingsley or something.
yep.
I don't know.
The yeah, looking the color of sour milk. Yeah, was one of the references to who or what that particular character was supposed to look like, and that
Mm,
is
yeah,
not.
that's not what we're getting, and if they somehow manage never to mention it the entire
Yeah,
time,
and it's not as if
maybe
they're
I can get with it.
yeah, it's not as if there were characters in the books where they didn't specifically mention they were from another country that they had
Well,
Indian
you
background,
actually
or they
did
had
know about
black
you
characters that were actually mentioned as being black, right? Like
there were. Dean
there
Thomas
were
was very
Dean
specifically
Thomas,
black.
very very specifically, and a very important character in Dumbledore's army. We had Kingsley Shacklebolt, as I said the other day. Like there's a very specific character who was very specifically called out in the books, and he's a badass. And everyone, when they had him, they showed him in the films. When I was in the theater, people were cheering when they saw Kingsley. They're like, "Yeah, we get that's one of my favorite characters." Like they loved him. Like there, yeah,
I'm
there was
so
no reason to make such a fatal error in doing this. The truth is that there's now already a lot of people on many different sides that are simply not going to watch this new series.
Want
well,
So
to
by the
like
way,
it.
yeah,
I'm gonna try.
I think that I really like what I did with your image
Yeah, it
now,
does look
Joe.
really good. How'd you get rid of the background? You know some
I
magic.
worked
yes,
some photoshopping in the background while we were talking, and also thank you to Born to Be Down. Thank you for the $10 Rumble rant. Did I
yeah.
get all of the super chats, or is there something?
Uh,
There's one that I think I missed here. Let me
we got
share
one
this.
from Seabrew. We have not talked about yet. Yeah.
Is Sebrew the one that usually does cancel Disney Plus, or am I now
No, no, that's somebody else.
okay? Because usually the cancel Disney Plus guy is usually like says for fuck's sake cancel Disney Plus. So I was wondering if this was a similar situation. For fuck's sake, Price is a great sock puppet. Well, thank you. I am very humbled by the comment.
And so somebody was a little confused. They wondered if you were a sock puppet or a finger puppet.
What, a singer puppet?
Finger
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 puppet.
puppet.
Ah,
Yeah, sock puppet or finger puppet.
no, I think this is actually like a crocheted puppet.
Yeah,
But
it's the original one that you had. would be considered an amigurumi. It's a Japanese thing. It's basically, but yes, it's crocheted, and but it's sort of a cutesy little crocheted version of a character. Yeah. With
The way we look now, it looks like Jill is saying, "Talk to the hand."
Because the face isn't listening.
Right. But somehow I still like it. It looks good. This is awesome. I like it. Oh, we didn't watch the He-Man trailer.
Yeah, we can watch that. We haven't watched it yet, so yeah, pull it
We
up.
haven't watched it. Yeah, we can watch it now. Okay, I think I found it. I'm going to share it now. Are you ready? Jill, do you like Masters of the Universe?
No, next to nothing about it, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Well,
Although I did see the first trailer.
you could still look at it and say what you think. The first trailer was like very goofy, and I feel like this time they said like stop with all this goofy stuff. They still put a little goofy in it. Most of the time, it looks like they want to create a more serious thing here. And had this been the first trailer, minus the few stupid jokes, I would have taken the movie more seriously. But let's look at it.
Oh, you're not sharing it, Bryce. It's not in presentation.
I'm not sharing it?
Yeah, or you are sharing it, but it's just not showing because there you go.
Good catch, Professor.
Well, I just started hearing noises, and I'm like, what?
Can you hear it?
Yeah, a little loud, actually. Might turn it down just a bit.
I know most of you don't remember me, but I know all of you. Even though I was stuck light years away on Earth, I never stopped trying to get back home.
Everything changed since you left.
It's all gone. Skeletor took my family. And he destroyed our world. It's all my fault. I know how it feels to fail. Take the sword. And when you fall, that's your chance to stand tall. This is my home. I'm gonna fight for it. But I can't do it without you. Somebody wants to brawl. I need every man, woman, or whatever that is. You may have the power, but you're too scared to use it. Trust me, I know how to use it.
You tell everyone that you're from another planet. It just makes you sound a little very crazy.
All right. Well, it's certainly better than the last trailer.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and this thing is coming around my son's birthday, and he's turning 13, and probably something I'd consider taking him to, but I don't know.
Yep. Very quippy, kind of doing the same, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel humor stuff.
If they would have removed those two jokes that are here, the thing at the end and him, like whatever that is, if they would have removed those two things, I would have liked the trailer better. I really don't feel like everything needs to be Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't need He-Man of the Galaxy or whatever it is.
Yep.
Just delete all of that. But because those quips are in there and we saw the previous trailer, this is going to be He-Man of the Galaxy.
Yep. We are definitely going to get a woman at some point in this film who's going to
Kick him in the
belittle
balls.
Adam. Well, maybe not even kick him in the balls, but belittle him for being a white man who has power. Because I have the power. But
Do you know
belittle him
that
in
for
some
sure?
way. Oh,
We're
I'm
just guessing at this
just
point.
guessing.
Okay. It's a pretty good guess, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, usually if there's like a 99% chance that it'll happen, at least if we're looking in the past 10 years of movies
Yeah.
of this type of genre, 1%, there's like strange anomalies. Unless they're starting to understand that they need to remove that kind of stuff and they'll actually make an effort to remove it. But I feel like the part that we didn't see here in the trailer, but when he comes back home, the next sentence was like, "It's because of you that all of this happened." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just
yeah.
waiting. We didn't hear the end of her sentence that she's like, "Once you were gone, all this bad stuff happened." And then like, we just need the additional sentence. It's because of you. You weren't
Yeah.
here for us, yo.
Yeah. You're the one who let us down.
It really depends on the context of the entire sentence. It could have been funny.
Yeah. I have to be honest. I don't really mind the sort of quote unquote race swap of putting Idris Elba. Idris Elba? No, it's not Idris.
Yeah, Idris
Yeah,
Elba
it's
is a
Idris
good
Elba.
actor.
Yeah,
He is a
they're
good
in
actor.
as man at arms. I don't really care about that. Honestly, I mean the race of that character was never really something particularly important in the stories. Whatever. I don't really
Sometimes
care.
it's
And-
not important.
yeah,
It's
and
true.
Idris Elba is a fine actor,
He
so
is.
that doesn't really bother me at all. And it doesn't like I've said with putting a black actor in the character of Snape. It's not that I don't think a black actor can play that role. It's that it's not really faithful to the existing material, and also on top of that creates some very real problems with the background of the story, introducing a lot of racial stuff that was not there originally. In
Because
this,
Snape was heavily bullied. It's
Exactly.
going to be so weird.
Exactly. Yes. That's what I kind of mentioned that. Like now all of that bullying and the way that people distrust him and all automatically assume that he's not on the up and up, that perhaps he's he's a dark wizard in disguise. He's not trustworthy. All of that takes on a different tone now with a black actor in the role. Now here it's a comic booky movie about a dude who wears a bunch of armor and he's like leads the fight against Skeletor when Adam's not there, whatever, fine, it's silly. It's a cartoon to a live action. I don't really care that much that they cast a black man in that role. But yeah, it seems very quippy, very sort of tongue in cheek in some places, which I'm not going to say that's bad in and of itself. Like you kind of said, Bryce, we've kind of seen a lot of this stuff, and it just feels like we know where it's going. If this movie is secretly like ends up like based and it's like tearing down a lot of like woke stuff and sort of like changes the way that it delivers this stuff, maybe it's different than our expectations. If that's the case, dude, great. I will be the first to say, wow, that was good. The way it really kind of turned some of this woke stuff on its head.
Guys,
that's
I
fine.
hate to burst that possibility, but Nim 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 in the chat says, from the first trailer that He-Man does get belittled by his manager, who is a lady of color.
I mean, that does happen, and he has the he him stuff on his desk and stuff like that. I still think there is a chance that stuff gets mocked, right? That it's there because it's gonna get made fun of. That's
I'm
a
really hoping.
possibility. Again, we haven't seen the movie yet. I don't know. As I said, we're
What is
just
Alison Brie doing in this movie? I didn't see her here.
she's in there. She plays Evil Lynn.
Oh, she does. I like Alison Brie.
I
And
do too. I like Alison Brie.
I once met her. I mean, met her. I was in one of those things that I go to those weird events. I don't go anymore. And she just like passed by me and kind of smiled and said hello. And I have to say that She seemed really nice in person. I don't know if she was a nice person, but she looked nice when I saw her in person.
Mm-hmm. I like her. I think she's attractive. I think she's cute
She
and
seemed
funny.
like a good vibe, you know what I
I
mean?
loved her in Community. I thought she did a great job there. I also liked her in Glow. Did you watch any of that show, Price?
I am ashamed to say that I've watched every single episode of Glow.
I'm not ashamed to say that at all. Honestly, the first season
Was great,
was
yeah.
fantastic. The second season had a lot of problems, but still had some really enjoyable bits. But the first season of Glow is actually just really great show.
And they
It's
pulled
very
the plug on it in
fun.
the middle. I think it got a 3rd season, but then it was canceled or something.
Yeah, it was going to get a 3rd season, and then they ended up pulling it before it actually went into production. And yeah, it sort of fell apart. I mean, admittedly, this, as I said, the second season did not work as well, and
I
they were
didn't
going to
hate
have
it,
a
though.
hard
I
time.
didn't hate it,
I
even the
didn't hate it
second
either.
season.
I didn't hate it either. We had a lot of fun. My wife and I both watched that show together, and there were some fun performances in that. Putin3 says, "Is that the wrestler show?" Yes, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Yeah, it was sort of based on how that group got started and how it got promoted and you know, everything. The first season, you know, if you want to go watch the first season, I can recommend it without reservation. The first season of Glow is actually really good. And it does have some sort of feminist stuff in it, but it's more traditional, like feminist messaging. Like, you know, you shouldn't be mistreating women just because they're women, right? Like, you know, give them a chance. Let them actually show you what they're capable of.
Also,
It's a little bit more classical feminism than it is like the man hating BS that we tend to
Also,
get
sometimes
today.
once in a while you have a show like that even if it has that messaging, maybe they're doing something that's entertaining me. And I
Yeah.
felt like that Glow show, like I said, that's why I said I'm ashamed to say that I've seen all the episode. It's probably on paper, you know, if you told me about the show, I may not get excited about it. It's possible that somebody recommended it to me and said, "Hey, you should check out the show. It's kind of cool." And then I ended up watching and I'm like, "Hey, you know what? I kind of like this." So maybe I wasn't the obvious target audience for it, but I still liked it. There's another show that I still can't believe that I watched it. Like I would sit there and say, like, I hope nobody knows that I'm watching this show, which is like I hope nobody ever finds out. Which was like the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Uh, I actually that was a very feminist driven show, targeted for ladies, but there was something about it that I didn't dislike completely. Like I thought it was a well made show.
Yeah, you know, that was one that did not stick for me. I watched with Mrs. Maisel. I watched probably the first, I think maybe we saw the first 4 or 5 episodes, and I just kind of fell off, and I didn't come back to it. I enjoyed what I saw of it, but it just wasn't something that really appealed to me long term. Interestingly enough, you know, another similar, well, not similar, but another Amazon show was Man in the High Castle. I thought I was gonna just love that, and then I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes, and I was like, "Meh,
I was
I just
never
don't
able to
really
get into
care."
that. I think I tried one episode. It wasn't for me. I don't know. I
Yeah.
understand what it's trying to do, but it didn't work for me. By the way, Jill, did you see either Glow or Mrs.
I can't.
Maisel?
No, never. No, I'm now curious about Glow.
I
I
think
have
you would
to.
really have a fun time with the
I
first
think
season.
Glow you would
It,
enjoy. Mrs. Maisel,
yeah.
like I don't even know to tell you why I enjoyed watching it to an extent. It wasn't perfect, and there were, maybe better seasons than others and things like that. I think that Rachel Brosnahan, which would later be Lois Lane in James Gunn's crappy movie, I thought she gave a tremendous performance on that show. I thought she was really, really good there. And that's why when they cast her as Lois Lane, I didn't think that she doesn't have the acting skills. I just don't know why they made her look dumpy and wrote her character. And I know why, but it's a shame that they didn't do more with the actress because she has much more potential than what you get in that James Gunn movie.
Okay. Yeah. So Glow actually did get a third season. It
I
was
watched the 3rd season.
it was a 4th season that was planned,
Yes, I
and they
watched
had they were working on it, and then Netflix canned it and decided not to move forward with the 4th season.
I think maybe the coup started at the time or
Yes,
something.
that was part of it. Yeah, because they were going to be because of the filming and everything, that because of the new safety protocols and stuff in place. I remember kind of reading about this now. Like, it just drove the costs up too high for them to be able to keep filming it during during the coup. And then that was all she wrote. Like, they just decided, nope, it's just going to be too expensive for us to continue with, and so we have to dump it at the end of the 3rd season. Yeah.
I like what George Rex says. Are there swords, lasers, and or spaceships in it? If not, I'll pass. I will watch
Glow,
some things outside of that.
there might be some swords.
Oh,
Don't really
Nice.
remember.
Well, at least a dagger.
I think, well, I do believe there is there's one character, because remember, these characters, they're wrestlers, but they played a lot of for their characters, they played sort of these outrageous characters. And I actually do if I remember, there is one an Asian character that she plays like a ninja or something, is her character when she wrestles. And so at some point she does have a sword, but there are no lasers or spaceships. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, how did we get here?
No, I don't know. How did we get here?
I don't know. I didn't share my messages, right?
No, I
Not
didn't
this
see any,
time.
didn't see any messages this time.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. That's a relief. So, yeah, I guess. What else? What did we write? Anything else? What was on our docket today?
I think that was really about it. We had as far as the stuff that was on the list here. We had the stuff about Critical Drinker and Woke Hollywood, and then Supergirl. We also, and then we added and talked about
I must have missed something.
stuff.
They're
from,
really with Supergirl.
He-Man.
Oh, another thing I'll say. They had Daredevil today. They showed 2 episodes, and
I haven't gotten back. They added 2 more.
2
today?
more today for some reason.
Oh,
and
they must be in a rush to get it out, because
it could be. I watched. I watched some of the first one. I really want to get more into it. I feel it really annoys me. I like this cast, and there's something that could be done here, but they just waited so long with it. And I feel like if there's ever been a case that I feel like they've lost so much momentum, it's like after season 3 of Daredevil, everybody was waiting for the Netflix version for that 4th season. It was already, supposed to move forward. Then they had that whole, issues with Disney that they were kind of arguing with them, and then they just pulled the plug on it. I really wish we would have gotten that 4th season, because what we're seeing now is just remnants of that season that never happened, and they're not able to put it together, not with the momentum. I don't know. It just annoys me because I really like the actors and I love the original Netflix show, but this is until now for me just kind of okay at best. And you're not looking for it to be just barely okay. You want it to be good. But I don't know. I didn't see the full 2 episodes. I started watching one of them, and I watched maybe half of one of them. Maybe that's not enough. I'll give it a chance. I'll watch the 2 episodes, but I really hope something improves, because until now, they haven't won me over. I've seen an episode and a half, haven't won me over.
Yeah, I've only watched the first episode.
I like
It
to give
didn't
them
do-
about 4 episodes before I quit.
Yeah. Did you watch the first season on D Plus?
Yeah, of course. I watched the first Born Again season. It had a lot of goodwill for me. I didn't think it was especially good, but it earned enough goodwill for me that I was still able to watch it, mainly because I like Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I really like Matt Murdock. Really think he's great in the role. I like Vincent D'Onofrio as an actor. I liked seeing him in the role. It was enough to keep my interest, but that first season had a lot of issues, and
Yeah.
this second one, it seems like at least from things that I have seen, it looks like they were trying to sort of course correct that, but in a way that kind of bored me, which is sad. But I don't know. You know what? It's not fair for me to say. I'm gonna watch episode 2 and 3 properly because I only saw like half of episode 2 and the entire episode 1 in season 2. I'm gonna watch those 2 episodes in their entirety, really focus on them. After 3 episodes, if they haven't really excited me, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good
The
point because
yeah.
seasons
Go-
are so short now. You're almost halfway through the season at that point. If it hasn't grabbed you by then it's fair to drop it.
Right, and
Yeah.
in any case, even if, let's say, they did a better job that they did and they didn't, but even if they did a better job, I would say that when did that season 3 end on Netflix? When did season 3 air on Netflix? Do you remember?
Of
Yeah, Daredevil season 3. Netflix.
see, that was like 2017 or something, man. That's been a
Okay,
while.
season 3 was in 2018. We are
2018.
now
Okay.
in 2026. They basically split up. They tried to make what would have been a season 4 sort of and split it up, which they showed it like last year. So that was 7 years later. That is a long time to ask your audience to wait and suddenly see 7 years later a continuation. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you do
Oh,
that,
of course.
that continuation better be the best thing that ever happened, not some weird Frankenstein's monster, which was what season 1 of the revival was. And this season 2, it needed to be the best thing I've ever seen. Maybe it'll get better. I don't know. But it's just sad to me because it's so rare that you have a show that everybody loves, everybody's watching, it's great, and people just want more of, and no, like weird politics, and they have to pull the plug on it for no reason.
This is another major problem with TV production now. I don't understand. They make 8 episodes a year. 10 episodes if you're lucky, or in the case of Starfleet Academy, unlucky. Uh, they make these episodes and they're like, oh well, we can't get out enough episodes. We're not actually going to make an episode set of episodes every year. We're not going to make. Oh, and it's like, what? We used to have television productions that made 22, 24 episodes a year.
Look at Star Trek. Look at all those Star Trek shows that they used to make like 24 episodes a season.
Yeah.
It's
24 episodes
unbelievable.
a season. We would make every single year. We'd make 22, 24 episodes. And then there were other shows that, maybe their runs were only like 13 or 14 episodes a year. That was also pretty common. But but those would come out reliably. Like, you're going to get that new show is going to come in at mid-season next year, or it's going to premiere at the start of the fall season, whatever. It's going to run, during the first half, and then it's going to have another mid-season replacement or something. It's going to pick up later, whatever. But you had them every single year. And now they're like, oh, well, we're going to put out this Harry Potter show. We're only going to do 8 episodes a season, but we're not really sure we're going to be able to get out one set of episodes every year, one season a year. What?
What? They have to do one a year because the kids are going to grow.
Exactly. That's what they've openly said. We're not certain we're going to be able to make one set of episodes a year. That's like, okay, so by the time they finish up, by the time they're done, the kids are going to be 25 years old. Like, come on. Oh, we got a raid from Smash JT over on Rumble. Thank you, Smash. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Smash. That's very
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
a
you.
couple times now he's rated our stream.
But to
over
be
on
fair,
Rumble.
there was
Appreciate it.
Very
there
kind
was
of
a
you,
bit
Smash.
of a lag. Sorry.
No, go on,
Between
Jill.
the movies did have a few years.
Yeah, they
difference.
did. You absolutely did. They stretched, some of those out. They took a little too long to make those. Making films is a bit different than making a TV show, at least, in a lot of ways. But that's something that they, they had trouble with because, we don't get one of these out every single year. Now the characters are going to be pretty old. The actors are going to start to look much older than their characters are supposed to be in the stories. And they did have to deal with that some. But here, it's like, you should know if the whole point is to, like, all right, this is going to be sort of in real time. Like, we're going to be getting a year of these kids' lives, a year of these students' lives, and we're going to see that book in that series every single year. Like, you just have to start planning for that before you even start your production. Look, we're going to put together and film 8 episodes, and they're going to come out every single year. Right? It's just it baffles my mind that they can't schedule things, they can't put things together for the actors, for the characters to say, we need to be able to ensure that we're going to release one season a year of 8 episodes.
And what is it? Is it because they used to get syndication if they had more episodes? Is that why they used to give us 24 and now we're only getting 10 or less?
I think part of that was they wanted to get the syndication orders. They wanted to be able to fill up more times on those channels. They relied on fewer shows with, that ran longer. Today, I think it has to do a lot with you get these actors that don't want to make commitments to making one show, right? They're like, oh well, I can come do this show for this long, and then I got to go off to do this movie, or I got to go off to do this other show or whatever. And so we consistently get these issues, these disruptions, and then there's all kinds of new rules and stuff that have been introduced in Hollywood about how long you can keep actors on a set and how long, especially child actors. But I don't have a
Right,
problem.
right.
I don't have a problem with that.
And on top of that, they also have to get education on set, and that was the thing with the Harry Potter movies where they did have a little school.
I don't have a problem with that. I think if you're going to have child actors, that's simply something you need to deal with. You need to make sure you're not taking those kids out of their educational environment. You're not overworking child actors. I completely agree with all of that. But like for the other, for like professional actors, adult professional actors, like the very strict limits that they have on like how long they can actually be on set and how long they can, they can be in makeup and like all these different rules, like without suddenly paying the exorbitant fees, for being there past their regular times. It's just meant that now it's extremely difficult for them to actually be able to put together 8 to 10 episodes every year. Yeah. It blows my mind. I don't get it. Like I said, they used to be able to put out so much more. You would think at the very least they could manage to produce 13, 14 episodes every single year.
So is it getting more difficult to make these productions, or are they
I
getting
think so.
less talented?
I think it's getting more difficult. Like you would have to talk to somebody like somebody in the chat. Caleb Levine mentioned Chatto, who could tell you a bit about it. Yeah. There's
Netflix has just a different model. Netflix, the way they do it is that they just like, they green light something and they give you 10 episodes. They see how the 10 episodes did. They have their own metrics. It works. First of all, they don't start filming. They don't do anything until they know all the details and if it's worth it for them. Once they do, already a bunch of time goes by. It's not like the model with TV. TV, once you're on TV and you have that kind of show, every year they're expecting at certain times they want your shows, they want the sponsors. They had a whole different system in place. And I think that system was probably more nurturing for creators and encouraged harder work from people, because there's stuff that you look, I understand that sometimes you look at the Next Generation and a season or Deep Space Nine, maybe some of those episodes are filler, you could say, or, they focus on one character and you could tell they're doing a lot of workarounds. But all in all, out of like 24 episodes, a lot of them are going to be pretty darn good, much better than anything we see from these shows with the 10 episodes a season.
Yeah,
So,
well, and if you get 4 episodes of filler in a 22, 24 episode season, okay, yeah, you get 10, 20, percent or whatever of the overall production maybe. When you get an 8 episode season and 4 episodes are filler, like we've been doing with the Strange New Worlds, strangled dude worms, right? That's
Right.
absurd. You can't have half of your series be filler.
I'm gonna say
You
something
remember Bobby's
controversial.
name for that show.
I know.
Even something like the Orville, the last season of it, I really like. I enjoyed the first season of Orville. I enjoyed the second one even more, and then the third season came out, and I feel like that again. It had 8 or 10 episodes, whatever it is. Two of them focused on the Klingons' boy girl that was getting the
Yes.
operation. Way too much focusing on
Blech.
that. If you insisted, if you
Girl
had,
boy, I
what'd you
guess.
say?
Girl boy, because she was born a girl and
Yeah.
then she was turned into a boy, and
Mhm.
then back.
I
And
I
then
She's a girl.
decided to de-transform.
I mean, I
Yeah,
understand that they
that's
were
actually
trying to
kind of based though.
they
It
they were
is.
they were
Yeah.
trying to do like an allegory for stuff like this that's happening in our world, and it's not necessarily the worst thing to do. It A felt a little bit too on the nose, and B I felt like too much of when you have 10 episodes, I don't want 2 episodes to be that. If there was 24 episodes and one was that, and it was like a little less obnoxious than it was, I think I would have let it slide more. 2 episodes to shove into the season, that already is like, Seth MacFarlane being greedy. It's unfortunate. And there were other things. There were maybe like 3 episodes in the third season that I said, oh, I really like this. But I feel like the other 7 ranged from being kind of mediocre or I didn't like. And that's really the problem that you were saying that, you need the 24 episodes and you need a lot of them to be good.
I'm seriously with you on the Orville. Honestly, that season, I love seasons 1 and 2. A plus, my favorite thing in the world. Season 3 is about a C plus because what happened is that it grew really introspective. I'm not sure if Seth MacFarlane wrote it as maybe a season series finale because he was afraid he'd never get to make the Orville again, and it just felt like we just looked at the past and we weren't exploring a whole lot of new stuff except for the spider monster creatures that Brandon Braga really wanted us to see. But a lot of the humor that was in seasons 1 and 2, not quite as much there. Gordon and Lamar were not together. I was like, get these two people together. They're your Abbott and Costello, and you're not putting them together, which was really frustrating.
Well, somebody says that you sound like Jennifer Tilly if you knew that.
No, I didn't. I didn't know that.
I didn't either, but somebody said it, so it was the real head case. Blame him, not me.
Anyway, I think you're right about season 3. There was something missing there that was
I
in the other
couldn't
seasons.
I couldn't be bothered to finish it. I watched a
Ends with the
handful of
wedding.
episodes in it, and I just was like, "This isn't the same show," and I'm just not.
You wait the
I
whole
Just not
season to
into it.
finally get the battle because you know that was building up in season 2, and you have to wait all the way until the penultimate episode to get it. And it's a pretty good
Mm.
episode.
It's a pretty
But
good
you had
episode. Yeah. There were some moments, like I said, out of like, if it was 10 episodes, I don't remember now, there was like 30% of it was fine, was decent, and maybe even good. But like I said, 30% was bad, 33% was bad, 33% was mediocre, and 33% was good. But that felt like a significant drop from the previous seasons. I feel, and I hate to say it, that Seth MacFarlane, the success went to his head a bit and he got a little greedy and woke there. Not full on woke, not Starfleet Academy woke, but I do feel like he kind of started feeling a little comfortable in his position. Personally, that's what I thought.
I think that he was actually sharing the social issues in a way where you could sort of think for yourself, but at the same time, there was a little bit of animosity in it that you
Episode
felt.
1 and 2, like season 1 and 2, I agree with you 100% that he was doing the allegories. I thought that he did a lot of good things in those seasons. It's season 3 that I felt that he did a little too much. Again, not a Kurtzman situation, but not as good as what he did before. And there's no way around it, in my opinion. It's funny because I think Disney at that point were sort of more involved in funding him or whatever. Maybe they asked him to be more woke. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, gee, I don't know. That's an
Yep.
interesting proposition, but I really don't know. I don't
No,
think
because
he
it was
would.
Fox. Don't you remember? Initially, he was on
Mhm.
Fox, okay? And then Disney bought Fox. So season 3 came after Disney bought this thing. So now it was Disney basically funding this thing. And man, I can't lie to you. I feel like once Disney is the ones paying the bills, especially during that era and that time specifically, I feel like they may have given them a shopping list of what they want to see in the show. Do you get what I'm saying? I think 2 episodes about the girl boy situation, I don't think that was a coincidence.
Yeah, what one episode was poignant, and then they kept coming back to it, and then they kept coming back to it, and I was like, okay, why do we have?
Yeah, well,
Why do we
yeah,
have to keep
I
harping
could have
on this
bought the
thing?
first one. I could have bought the
Right.
first one. I agree with you.
The first
that-
one, and then a second one, dealing with the consequences as she's
There was a
grown,
third one.
as she's grown up.
There was a third
There's
one,
and-
yeah.
3 episodes.
That's
of
what I'm
that.
saying. The second one, okay, dealing with the consequences of what happened in
In
the
a
first one
5-episode
after
season?
she's grown up, and saying, she's recognized now. She knows the truth, right? And now she's recognized whatever, and so she's turning her back on that. She's turning her back on her society. She's going to live as a female, and so you get that. But that's just 2 episodes. There's only 2 episodes worth of story there. You don't need a third one. You definitely don't need to insert it into other episodes as B stories or whatever. Like, that's it. Like,
I forget exactly what it was, but that one Mocklin lady, they did something bad to her character, but I can't quite remember what it was. I'd have to rewatch it.
Yeah, but I mean, exactly. This was not something that you could do now, like 70 episodes about. If you only have like 10 episodes a season, or 8 or 10 or whatever it was, to do like 2 or even 3 about that situation. And I remember while watching it, getting really annoyed. I remember how annoyed I got. And man, I was so looking forward to that 3rd season of the Orville. So when I saw it and saw them dwelling on that, it annoyed me. Like you
Me
guys
too.
said,
My whole channel exists because I was waiting for season 3 of the Orville.
like 1 episode, we could have let it slide, but 2, 3 episodes and continuously going back to it, annoying. Oh well. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about? I think we're kind of getting to our.
I think we're just about covered it for this evening.
So first of all, before I go, I want to put this link to Jill's channel. Make sure to support Jill, especially during a time like this when YouTube is, I don't want to say anything. They're talking to her.
I got it in the chat, Bryce.
Yeah,
Not in the chat.
maybe they will redeem themselves. We'll
Maybe.
see.
You know what? The fact that they're talking to Jill now and they're talking to her about possibly resolving it, I'm very, very hopeful. I don't want to throw anybody or anything under the bus. I think that there's a way to improve the way they review channels. But if they do right by Jill, then I'll be happy. So I don't want to say anything negative. Let's hope for the best here. But in any case, you should go check out what Jill does. She has a great channel, and a lot of Star Trek streams and a lot of Twilight Zone streams, amongst other things. Great stuff. If you like, science fiction, I think you'll enjoy her channel, and it's always a pleasure to have her here. So if you're not subscribed to her, you should do that. I also want to thank Smash JT with the raid. If you are not familiar with his channel, Smash JT is really cool. So always check him out as well. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, okay. We have some people on.
One more thing. One more reason to subscribe to me. I'm 3 away from 1,500.
Oh, we got to do that now.
Very nice. Yeah, get out there.
Guys.
3 more.
3 more and 1,500. That means that you have to go subscribe now.
Yeah, that's
I want to feel that we're ending the stream with Jill having 1,500. I really hope it could happen. Do it. So I want to thank the people on Rumble. Professor was kind enough to make a list here. Silent Natives, Pyromancer, Dustin Nunn 1988, Darren Mai, Tiffany 6967, me JP73, Phantom Monk, Kivo 1961, who sent a very nice Rumble rant. What is it? Hold on. Simpin.
There it is. Got it. Sorry.
What'd you say? Simpin Dull.
1,500.
Yeah.
Got it?
dun-dun-dun. Yes, I didn't even get to take a screen grab it. It's at 1,501.
Let's see what it is.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Simpin Dolapado, Def Frat Guy, CW, 247 Buzzkill, B Hops 1, Dude Bro Seth 420, friend of the channel. M She Freder. I don't know what that is. Uh, then there's God's Love 737, Maxis, Sean Linane, Deconstruct, Double R Star, Volume Dealer 1, Mr. Joka, Mitzer Wilson, and B-Roll Stage, friend of the channel. Born to be Down, thank you for the Rumble rant as well. Gaming Stuff, also a guy I see from time to time here. One Dirty Bird as well. Angelo DD also, the Low Tech. Gundam Zig. And then I guess
Yeah.
if there's YouTube people, you
Yeah,
can...
and we had a lot of people joining us over on Rumble this evening, so I hope I got everybody. Hope I got you all there. If not, sorry we missed you. Really appreciate it. We got quite a few people joining us over on YouTube today as well. So we have our top 50 in the chat with us tonight. Of course, anybody who was here with us, just watching along, just lurking, we appreciate you being here too. But yeah, we've got our top 50 of the people in the chat. So we had the Duxon, Rogue's backstory. It's Budgie Cat, Trevtune Art, JJ1109, The Tasteful Thickness, NPC Person 1, Jonathan Conroy, Whalem03, Marks47, Mark Taylor, Destiny Captain 24/7, Parrot Heads, John Davidson, FKHC 2005, Joe Darkness, Strugun, Susie Gilfillan 1100, The SoCal Flow, Mur Rockstro, Mr. Violet Newstead, Red Eye 3701.
Thank you for the super chat, Maroxtra, and Dutch Gradient for your very generous memberships. I think you gave like 30. Maroxtra gave 5. Jill gave a $20 super chat, was very kind of her. And
Yeah.
Seabrew, I think, I'm not even looking, I think gave like a $2 one. Thank you to all the people that did that. That's very, very kind of you.
Yeah. Let's see. James Caserta, Mooley Porchers, Adrian Veit, Lord Corey, John Smith, Fishbulb, Seabrew, Jawa Trader Utini, Tim Hayes, The Real Headcase, Kodo Rob 22, Yitis, Georgia Cyrex, Darren M, Planet X 87, Adam Gray, Javier Vasquez, Putin 3, Prophetic Apathetic, Lasher, Phantom Outsider, Not Z3PO, Tomahawk 511, Caleb Levine, Dutch Gradient, and Antiderivative Gel. So thank you all so very much for joining us this evening. And yes, as Price said, thank you to Murrockstra for the gift memberships, Dutch Gradient, the incredibly generous gift of those 30 memberships, as well as a $5 super chat, Antiderivative Jill for your $20 super sticker, and then Seabrew for his $2.
And final thing, first of all, if you're on Rumble, that's our headquarters. So if you're on Rumble and you haven't signed up for the app, sign up, follow us. It's a great platform for free speech. And if you follow us there, you'll always know when we stream. If you're on YouTube, also, I have a few different channels. Sometimes I put links on other things to get here. So if you got here for maybe another channel or another social media, make sure you're subscribed to this one, because it's always good to be subscribed to this one so you know when I stream. Just putting that out there. And I guess I'm trying to think if there's nothing else. I guess we can probably say goodbye, right?
So we are going. This is not some sort of April Fool's joke, since it is April 1st. No, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna hate the rest of this.
Oh, okay. That's what before we headed out, I was gonna say, it's April 1st, everyone. Whatever you hear on the internet, don't trust it for the next 24 hours. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it comes from. It doesn't matter what they have to say. 24 hours, don't trust it. Although I will say that we do have the planned launch of the Artemis 2 tomorrow. all the prayers that goes well. I have to be completely honest. I am not confident in that spacecraft.
But I am hoping for the best, but are you not confident because of the day and superstition, or you're not
No,
confident
I am
because
not
of the
confident because
shark?
I don't think
So
that vehicle is ready. I really don't.
Caleb
But
Levine
we'll
says
have to see what happens.
then
said
they
pri-
shouldn't fly.
I agreed.
I just want to answer this. Price, when are we getting more late night karaoke streams? The thing is that when you do those kind of streams, you're using songs that don't belong to you, and I don't want any issues at this point. So maybe on another channel there was like a secret smaller channel I opened that like 5 people know about. Maybe at some point I'll do something there, but I'm just a little more careful because I know that there's all these rights stuff, and I just don't want any problems.
And
But
if you
thank you for
do
asking.
that secret channel, make sure it's not connected to this one because
Yes.
it can affect this one too.
And by the way, I am just gonna put this link because I think you tried to share it with the chat, but you shared it with us, I think. So this is now the link for Jill's Rumble that I'm putting
Oh
here.
yeah. I just wanted to share that for the Rumble fans, but I didn't know if I was doing it properly. So thank
So
you.
that's Jill's Rumble. If you're on Rumble, you should go check out whatever Jill is doing there. That's her
I
channel.
just stream everything from YouTube to there, and so it's just a
Nice.
mirror because you never know when this is going to be over, especially now.
Yeah, with YouTube.
You never know anything. That is absolutely true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, thank you, Jill, for being here. Thank you, Professor, for being here as always. And yeah, it was a fun stream. Always great to hang out with you, Jill. And we'll
and we
see
got
you
Jill at
guys.
1500.
We got 1500.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I think that's swell. And if
Awesome.
anything, YouTube is still a good place to share what we have to say, even if even if they don't want to share their money.
I'm hoping that this will resolve itself. I'm really,
Yeah.
really hopeful. And at least they're in touch with you. Maybe something good will happen. We're all really, really hoping. So, but obviously, great to support what Jill is doing wherever she's at. So that could always help as well. And we'll see you all here on Thursday because every Tuesday and Thursday at 11:45 p.m. Eastern, it's the Night Owl, and Thursday we'll be here. So I guess that's it.
Show.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.